When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Hey, have you guys ever heard of Patreon?
I think I have.
Yeah, I think it's like a royal guard.
It's that maybe, but also it's a website where podcasters and other creators can get people to give them money for making their product.
You mean we can get paid for this?
Kind of. For a mere $3 a month, you, loyal listener, can feed or get drunk a starving podcaster.
I feel like we need some like Sarah McLachlan behind this kind of. I will remember you.
I almost did with arms wide open. I was like, that's not the song.
That's how you get people to not give you money.
So check it out. Patreon.com/worstpeople. That's WORSE. $3 a month. You get access to exclusive episodes. Find us, love us, support us. Thank you. Welcome back, listeners. And this week, Paul W.S. Anderson is at it again. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm mad.
And this is Bad Movies, Worst People.
Okay, well, sometimes I drink too much, and it is a putty bone. All right, you can just pull on it and slap it on newspaper, and ain't nothing happening.
So this is 2020's Monster Hunter.
That's what I call him. But taking down monsters all day.
2020's Monster Hunter, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
There's a reason that you're saying it that way.
Yes. He is, okay, Paul W.S. Anderson, real quick. He's made a good movie, some fun movies, and a lot of bad movies.
What's the good movie?
I almost said Resident Evil. Fuck me. Event Horizon.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, he made a great movie.
Yes. There's Event Horizon.
Everybody gets one.
And then he also made the original Mortal Kombat, so it's fun.
Like
not a good movie.
Like Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
You know what? Like in that time frame, and especially after Street Fighter, I do think it's borderline good movie.
So it's a Mortal Kombat movie
I'm the
where
god
there's
of thunder. Don't you get it?
there's Mortal Kombat and there's a tournament, unlike the Street Fighter movie where nobody fights on any streets.
Yeah, at all.
There's actually no fighting.
There's no streeting. There's no fighting.
There's a moment in that movie where the street fight almost starts, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme literally drives a tank into the building and stops
What a
it.
buzzkill. He's just so coked up in that movie, too.
That's not this movie. We'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, we'll get there.
You better believe it.
Didn't we just watch it?
No.
Didn't we watch Street Fighter not that long ago?
No, I haven't watched Street Fighter in probably 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
At least.
We watched a lot of JCVD.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Not even for the podcast.
Are you just thinking of Lionheart, where he fights people in the street? Because in Street Fighter,
Better
he doesn't
Street
fight
Fighter.
anybody in the
Lionheart
street.
and The Quest are both better Street Fighter movies than Street Fighter the movie.
Yes.
I think I remember you both saying that.
Yeah, probably. I say a lot of stuff.
But he
Sometimes
also
it's the same.
directed, Paul W.S. Anderson also directed the first Alien vs. Predator.
Oof. Buddy.
Which I guess if you go back and look now after a lot of stuff has come out, it's not as bad, but it's still not good.
It's still not good. I'm glad you said that.
And he did 4 of the 6 Resident Evil movies, also starring Milla Jovovich.
I really
his wife.
expected that number to be higher, like a 15 Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, he did. So he did number 1, and then somebody else did 2, and somebody else did 3, and it was basically like, you guys are fucking this up. I'll come back. And he did 4, 5, and 6.
Just for a while, it seems like they're just pumping those movies out.
Yeah, I mean, it was from 2000 to 2016, and they had all 6 of them.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was a time frame.
It's a busy 10 years.
16 years.
I was busy for 10 of them.
Oh, okay.
Then he's
Got
just shitting off the rest of the 6. I can do math.
And I mean, I will say he did direct the best one,
The first one?
the last one.
Oh.
I watched all 6 of them last year, 2022. I watched all 6 of them because why not?
Because you're you.
And
I've seen number 1.
on my Letterboxd rankings, the highest rated one is Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, which I gave 2.5 stars.
One of those stars is just because it was over.
And the worst one was the first one, Resident Evil, which I gave a 0.5 star.
Dang, what a weird franchise where your first one's your worst one.
Dude, that was trash. They shouldn't have been any more after that first one.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with it. Well, it has a little bit to do with this.
But it
movie.
makes money, right? Like those movies obviously made money or wouldn't have 6
yeah.
of them. So what is that? Obviously it's not a good movie. So you have a loyal fan base of not only Resident Evil, but Milla Jovovich.
Milla Jovovich,
Which,
the people
hey,
who just like those movies.
I'm a fan of hers.
I've only seen the one.
I mean, they're fine for what they are, but no, if they weren't theatrical, I don't think I would be as upset about them being made. If it was like, we made that first one, the rest are direct-to-DVD sequels, it made
Sci-Fi
perfect
Channel
sense.
original.
Yeah, exactly. But they all came out in theaters. That has little to do with this anymore. Also, apparently he did a Three Musketeers movie in 2011, ?
Oh.
Also starring Milla Jovovich.
Huh?
Oh. I wonder if I've seen that one. I have a penchant for Three Musketeer movies.
I only because of Oliver Platt do I.
Yeah, the Charlie Sheen,
Yes.
fucking, who else? Chris O'Donnell,
And
Kiefer Sutherland.
And
Yeah.
Rebecca De Mornay.
Ooh, and Tim Curry.
Yes. Oh,
And one of those guys plays D'Artagnan. That's what I remember.
Yes.
yeah. That would be D'Artagnan
Oh,
is
Chris O'Donnell.
That makes sense. I saw that movie a
Athos,
lot of times when I was a kid.
Parthos and
Eremos.
Eremos. I was going to say
Eremos.
Agamemnon.
Eremos
but
is Oliver Platt, isn't it?
I hope so.
Hope so too. I don't remember. We should do that.
I saw that movie a lot when I was a kid, and I remember loving it, but I haven't watched it since my age had more than one number in it, I don't
It's
think.
because Oliver Platt makes it amazing.
I love me some Oliver Platt. Let's get him on the show. Not like him in
Please do.
person because he wouldn't be here, but we could watch Lake Placid.
He might do your podcast.
Oh.
I'll reach out.
All right.
But anyway, this movie also stars Milla Jovovich, as all of other Paul W.S. Anderson's other movies do, since they got married, who people might know from good things, such as Dazed and Confused and The Fifth Element,
Oh, yeah.
Multipass.
the origin of Bada Boom that we say constantly, and also from bad things, like all the Resident Evil movies,
Blue Lagoon.
and
Is it Blue
Ultraviolet.
Lagoon?
Blue Lagoon.
Is it Return to Blue Lagoon?
I don't
or-
think she was in
She's in something where she doesn't speak English.
Fifth Element.
No,
Most of Fifth Element, dude.
it's they're stuck on a. I swear to God, they're stuck on a desert.
I don't know. I didn't see anything that.
desert ocean.
If it doesn't have Brooke Shields, I don't think I saw it.
No, there was something else.
I don't
that
see
was her.
anything. I didn't see anything in her IMDb that looked like that, but I also would never heard of it, so I wouldn't have noticed it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
It's probably not good if I don't know about it.
She gets naked.
I only watch The Cream of the Crop.
I opened up her IMDb and I saw Dazed and Confused, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I should watch that." But we were getting ready to watch
Stunner
this, so
Yeah. She's great in that.
the other major star is Tony Jaa, who is awesome. I don't know if he's a good actor or not, but he's a great martial artist.
This movie helps him because he's
Yeah.
not supposed to speak English.
Yeah.
And that helps when he's saying, like, when he's discovering the words that she's telling
Chocolate?
him. Chocolate? Like, it works really fucking well.
It really
so
does.
I can't say if he's a good actor, but he's acting well in this.
I'd like to.
I think
miss-
he's doing good. He's funny.
The other, I definitely laughed at him more than anything in this
He's
movie.
funny without being hammy.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Because usually in this kind of movie, comic relief is hammy.
And he's, I mean, besides like his timing, like he can fight like a motherfucker, and that's what we're here for.
Well, and that's
to
what
watch
I
him.
saw. So apparently it wasn't his first movie, but I think it was his first movie that came to the U.S. was Ong Bak.
Yeah.
I saw that many, many moons ago when it first came over on DVD, and it's fucking crazy. This dude is jumping, backflipping, and kicking out lights that are 15 feet above his head
Oh, that guy.
just
That's-
because he watched like wuxia movies growing up. I think that's how you pronounce it, like the floaty kind of Chinese action movies. And he was like, "Oh, people can do that." He lived in a weird random village. He didn't know that it was all strings and special effects.
damn.
So he just taught
So he just taught himself how to fly, basically.
is he Muay Thai? Is that like his
Muay Thai, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, dude, in Anbach that you're talking about, so many flying knees and like elbow drops to the head to people. Like he's probably in the mid fives, like 5'6".
Yeah,
something like
he's a
that.
short dude.
He would leap on top of me and knee me in the top of the skull. I'd be helpless.
Yeah.
He also did a couple movies, the Protector 1 and 2. I never saw 2, where it's basically Ong Bak, something to do with elephants and everything. It's another like Thai based movie, and it's important in their culture. But he's trying to protect this like elephant skeleton. I don't remember exactly. The thing I remember from that movie is there's a like super long one shot of him just going up this tower fighting people, and it's like, I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but I want to say it's over 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Of him just going up these like staircases and fighting these people.
For listeners, one shot is just that, right?
Yeah,
Like
no cuts, no cuts.
breaks, yeah. Hey, just saying, there might be somebody out there who's just here to listen to your voice, and they don't know technical terms, Whitney.
Nobody wants to listen to my voice.
I bet you're wrong.
There's one person that wants to listen
I
to
know
my
someone.
voice. Hi, Heather.
Apparently he was also in Furious 7, and he was in the Expendables 4.
Oh, he was in Furious 7, and it's so stupid they underutilize him, but anyway.
Of course they do.
Because you
never saw
can't
it.
have him beat up Vin Diesel.
Nope.
There's no fucking way he's going to win that
He showed
fight.
up and he started doing really cool stuff, and Vin Diesel was like, "Oh, it turns out your character's dead."
Write him off the movie.
That was more Rocky, or, well, yeah.
I mean, there's not much of a difference. It's just one extra set of testicles.
We'll talk about this movie now.
Oh,
So it's based on a
there's
Capcom
one
game.
other person that's in this movie.
There's a lot of other people
Well,
in
yeah,
this
but-
movie.
You want to wait
Those
till
are
we
the
get
two
there?
stars.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the stars.
Okay.
There is one other great guy who shows up, and then there's some lady that you guys knew
She knew her. I was just in love with her.
from dance-off movies.
Yeah.
But there's another guy, too. There's people in this movie, barely.
I recognize some of the military people as like mercenary number 1 in
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
bullshit. So it wasn't
Well-
worth even looking up, though.
In the first 5 minutes, we get her name is Megan Good.
Yeah.
Megan Good, who is I remember her.
Actually, before the first 5 minutes, there's the scene
Oh,
in
yeah,
the other
you're right.
world, the new world,
In the actual first 5 minutes.
where it's like a pirate ship, basically, on sand dunes, which is pretty cool.
I think you're misclassifying them as pirates, dude.
They look like pirates.
They're not pillaging.
Well, there's nothing to pillage.
Then they're not pirates.
The
They're sand
monsters ate
sailors.
everything.
Okay, sand sailing.
Sand sailors sounds like a slur.
I don't think it is. Not when you're literally
George
sailing
Lucas.
upon the sand. I'm not asking him. He doesn't know it's racist.
Excuse me.
Misa, sorry.
But they're sailing on the sand, and I guess I could talk about them because we see Ron Perlman right away,
Right away.
looking like a half-changed werewolf.
Yes.
I mean, dude, he's like a werebear.
He is a werebear.
He's turning into a bear as we're watching. He does look like the commander character.
Admiral.
Sorry. He does look like him, but it's ridiculous because that is an anime-style video game, and he's Ron Perlman. So this wig with these fucking side braids and this giant flow, it's not Ron.
But the thing
like,
is,
it's not his.
Ron Perlman always looks ridiculous.
That's true. I love this look. I also just can't look at it without smiling or laughing.
It's like I know a bunch of stuff he was in, but I looked up his IMDb to see if there were any surprises. I had one real surprise. He's apparently in Police Academy Mission to Moscow.
Shut up. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I can't confirm.
As like a Russian, it was like officer or
Believable.
something or whatever.
Dos Vidania.
Yeah, Officer Dos Vidania. But he's
Officer
also in,
Chernobyl.
he's in a movie, just speaking of him looking ridiculous, that I just watched recently at the Loft here. It's like a French movie called The City of Lost Children. It's awesome. It's very like Brazil, Terry Gilliam kind of vibes, like very fantasy, weird kind of stuff. But he is this hulking man who's like, he's a strong man in like a freak show thing,
Sure.
whatever. But he's just wearing this like very, very tight fitting horizontal striped shirt. And he has his kind of his signature little like curl of hair that he has a lot in his
Okay.
earlier stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, he's got this tight shirt and these tight pants. It's like if Popeye was real.
Is it labyrinth tight?
Let's
Tighter.
talk about
No,
them
I mean, like-
sleeves.
No, tighter.
You can see it. You
Well,
can see
he's wearing
definition?
their jeans.
Oh.
So, or
Let's talk
like,
about them
pleated.
sleeves.
He looks ridiculous. He looks hulking, and he spends the entire movie helping like a very small child. So it's even weirder. It's a good movie though. But anyway.
French. I like the way they think.
Also, I didn't
And the way
realize.
they
So
kiss.
we know he's been in a lot of Guillermo del Toro stuff, right?
Yeah.
He did Hellboy. He did Pacific Rim. He did Blade 2.
Yeah, he got a job. He got a Pacific Rim job out of that.
Yeah. But I found out, because I haven't seen it yet.
I loved him in SOA. I know we don't talk about TV shows on here.
I know we do. But that's the one everybody knows.
Yeah,
So
I
didn't
mean,
bring
that
it
was
up.
a resurgence for him. Like people that did not know him.
Yeah.
You know, I think most people listening to this podcast would probably know Ron Perlman from something before that.
Yeah.
Blade 2.
But I found out he was in Kronos, which was Guillermo del Toro's first movie.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. I
Long-
haven't.
long,
but I
As in
haven't
a
watched it.
Titan?
Long relationship.
No, maybe. I don't know. It's Spanish, so.
Could be anything.
I don't know if Ron Perlman speaks Spanish in that movie, but in that other movie, he's definitely speaking French the whole time. So, or maybe it is Spanish. Maybe it's a Spain thing. I don't remember. It was good though.
I mean, Brazil is Spanish.
No,
Brazil's
Brazil, the movie, has
Portuguese.
nothing to do with
No.
Brazil.
That you were saying that French movie you saw that had like a very Brazilian.
Brazil vibe. Brazil, as in the Terry Gilliam movie
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Never mind.
with the weird baby mask.
So I'm the one that doesn't know anything about movies, guys. Just so you remember.
So for Whitney's sake, what's a one shot?
But so they're sailing on the open sands, and they get
Weird.
attacked by a creature from under the sand, and Tony Jaa gets launched from the boat.
I gotta say though,
That
real
kinda
quick
sets
here,
it up.
as someone that has played the Monster Hunter world, not all the Monster Hunter franchise, this scene is in the beginning of Monster Hunter World. Like this little redhead ginger knight guy with his, I think they're called seekers, like it's a handler. They like this whole thing right here is almost shot for shot. Just add Tony Jaa.
Okay. I mean, supposedly Paul W.S. Anderson has been wanting to make this movie for a long time because when he was in Japan doing press tours for something, presumably a Resident Evil movie, he found it over there back in like 2008 and he
Yeah.
fell in love with it and he's wanted to make a movie ever since,
Okay.
which might be why it's better than the Resident Evil movies because he clearly never played those games.
Clearly.
Basically, the only important thing is Tony Jaa gets launched off and they're trying to get to some kind of tower. That's all.
We know nothing about it. It's dark. It's spooky. It's got lightning everywhere. Maybe a Sith Lord lives there. I don't know.
It was funny because I was like, oh, guys, that's Tony Jaa. And then he got thrown off the ship. I was like, well, I guess he's out of the movie.
Why is he built so high if he's out of this movie that quick? That's weird.
But we get the twitchy fingers.
Yeah,
so
we do.
we know he's still alive. And then we go to the real world. And that's when we meet.
Milla Jovovich. You got some Irish guy?
I want to say it was Australian, but he's
Australian.
trying. I think he's trying to hide it because sometimes it's like the buggy can go again.
Well,
Right,
they-
mate.
They're supposed to be Army Rangers. So
Yeah.
they would
Yeah,
presumably
you
all
have
be
a lot
American.
of different accents here.
And then we get Megan Good, which again, I remember her from It Stomp the Yard and You Got Served. And I want to say in You Got Served, her name is Beautiful, and that's with 2 L's.
Yeah, I'll tell you
And
what,
she's
she-
got like the mouth.
She
and
is
oof.
beautiful.
She is.
Let me see
And
what
I
that
saw
mouth
You
is.
Got Served, but I don't remember her.
Oh, how do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or the movie.
Yeah,
I remember they
She's
were
gorgeous,
dancing.
is what
but
she
don't
is.
but don't fall in love with any of these people.
No.
because as quickly as they're introduced, they are dispatched. I mean, there's one guy who takes his dog tags off, ties them around his boot, and somebody's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just in case my head gets blown off." I know now your head's gonna be missing.
Yeah.
I now know something's gonna happen here.
You just say, I'll be right back.
Right?
He'll never
So-
be head of the army.
You have Captain Artemis.
She's Artemis.
Then Dash
Which, by the
is
way,
Megan
Artemis
Good.
is the goddess of hunt. So that's just like on the nose as fuck, but I
Yeah.
like it.
There's Marshall. There is was it Link?
Link is
Dash.
T.I.
Dash is the girl.
Dash.
There was a Dash.
Yeah. Steeler.
Steeler is the accent guy.
Yeah. And then I don't remember the Asian dude that had a California accent.
I don't remember
That
his
listened to George Jones. Like, I love it.
And they're
I don't know
looking
who that
f-
is, so I'm going to assume country musician.
Country AF.
You
I
don't
mean,
know who George Jones is?
No, I'm a Philistine, like a
You
Steeler.
fucking Philistine.
So they're looking for Bravo team.
Yes, they're looking for another team that went missing. They find their tracks and they just disappear. And they're like, well, that's impossible.
But when
because
they
they're
fix-
driving a 10-ton
That's
vehicle.
10 tons of armor.
Yeah.
But when they find the tracks, there's the tracker, and that's introducing T.I.
Yes. He's Link. I thought he was
have
going
to
to be in
have-
this movie more because he's a
Same.
person.
Yeah, you have to. Well, and maybe we were just kind of conditioned with things like My Hat's a Shark Fin, Deep Blue, where LL Cool J makes it through the whole fucking movie.
Yes.
You're like, all right, dude, so a black rapper can make it through I don't want to call it a horror movie, action thriller movie.
A
Action
monster
sci-fi.
movie.
But I will say this, I almost wish they would have gone R. Because sometimes
Yeah.
they're doing spooky things and it wouldn't scare you, but if there was blood, it would at least be more visceral and you would be maybe shocked. Because there are some good kills.
Yes,
and
there
they are
are.
just bloodless.
I mean, I have a feeling it's PG-13. I have a feeling that's just to get because the games aren't M.
it's
Open
so you're
up
trying
the-
to get.
I mean, it's Capcom.
Yeah.
Capcom is infamous for, when Mortal Kombat was doing heavy blood, they were doing Street Fighter no blood.
I mean, I don't think the Resident Evil movies were even R.
That would be
I
surprising
feel like
if they
they
were.
were.
I would be
I don't know.
shocked.
I mean,
also wouldn't
because
care.
no, they can't be because when that dude gets chopped into pieces in the first one with the laser grid thing, he just falls apart and there's no blood. It looks like those little steak cubes in Mario Party on the Wii that you're
Yes.
flipping in your little pan. It looks a lot like those.
Ew. I'll never look at a steak cube the same again. There goes dinner.
I'm still hungry.
Have a steak cube.
I will, thank you.
Oh, Jack did point out during the boat scene, and it doesn't really come back, and I was disappointed. The music is awesome. It's like this synthwave, like Night Drive kind of music.
Because you have Ron Perlman fucking looking beautiful with and hair's ridiculous, but he's looking awesome as he does the Captain America. He's got the steering wheel in one arm and a fucking rope for the sail in the other arm.
It's called a helm.
A helm. It's a steering wheel in my world, girl.
You used to be a pirate.
I put one on my belt buckles because you're driving me nuts. But he's got the helm in one hand and he's got the rope in the other, and he's doing the Captain America. So the music is a 8-bit.
Yeah, it's a total synthwave. It's like Stranger Things. Like if you think about the original music in that, not the obviously like 80s music.
I
it's
forgot
like
that I point because it's never back. So
no, I wrote it down because I thought it was going to be throughout the movie. The rest of the movie is just your traditional like orchestral score.
I'd give a half a star for just if they put that style of song in 2-3 more times.
Just have that be the music.
Not the same song, just that style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't what did we just watch? They had Wild Angels.
Oh God.
They had like one song for when they're riding their motorcycle.
A lot of low budget movies are like, well, we had that song, we paid for it. Yeah. We'll just use the beginning here, we'll use the end here, we'll use the middle
they
here.
used all 3 songs in one fucking scene at the same time. Madness.
But when they get to Link and they're driving up, there are these weird like artifact pillar things, and one of the Dash is like, "Hey, did you see those?" And I think it's Milla Jovovich.
I'm an Army Ranger, not an archeologist.
Yeah. What do I look like, Indiana Jones?
That was an honest giggle from all of us. Like,
she's not. You got her.
Got you.
Sorry, I misspelled something in my notes.
Oh, I thought you were trying to decipher your notes again.
No.
What'd you
the
misspell?
storm is hiding the storm is hiding hostiles, but I wrote Hodong.
That storm is hold on hostile. I done seen storms like that back in my day.
So the
Cleaning
storm
up Rattlo shit.
The storm that we're speaking of starts coming over the ridge, and they're like, "Oh, maybe the hostiles are hiding in there." And I'm looking at this storm, going, "No one is hiding in there."
If they're in there, they ain't happy.
They're using it as cover.
It's like the mist from the mist.
You couldn't predict that, first of all, and much to Derek's point, you couldn't survive it. If you're like, "Oh, there's a storm coming, let's get behind it, use it for cover," your whole army's gone too.
Yeah. This is awful. You don't hide in this.
Well, they even said something like they're using it. Expect kinetic damage.
I was expecting fucking Bill. What's
Bill Nye the Science
Bill
Guy?
Bill Pullman? No. Wait, who?
Bill Burr?
Bill Burr. I'm never expecting Bill Burr.
I always want Bill Burr.
Bill
though.
Paxton and Helen Huntsby driving by in some yellow pickup, trying to let Dorothy out and track this goddamn storm. It's that bad. Debris.
We got a cow.
I think that's the same cow.
Well, they're in the Middle East somewhere, so they'd be like, "We got a camel."
Yeah, we got
another camel.
I think that's the same camel.
But they're trying to run away from the storm. The storm's chasing them down. There's a bunch of lightning in there, and T.I. has the line, I don't know, "I feel pretty secure in this big steel box with my metal gun."
All this metal around me.
Guess what happens?
And
one of many cuts of people tumbling.
Yes.
In darkness or not so well lit area, in a Humvee especially. I hope you like this shot.
Because they're driving along and like the symbols flash and there's some hoodoo stuff. And then all of a sudden there's a cliff there that wasn't there and they fly right off that shit.
Up. I didn't hate that shot, honestly. I know they used it multiple times.
I didn't hate it first.
Well, it was fine,
still
but
think it's
then
a cool-
within 20 minutes, you have the exact same shot.
do.
I think they reused the shot.
Yeah, going back to it is tough. Like 20 minutes. I haven't even forgotten about it. It's still very fresh in my little fucking goldfish brain.
They appear in another desert, and they're like, "Where are we? This doesn't look anything like we were. Where'd all this sand come from?" I'm like, "You were just in a desert."
But
it's a different
It
sand.
does
It is.
look
This
different.
is like the Sahara versus like Afghanistan where they were.
Yeah.
But still, the comment is, "Where'd all this sand come from?" And I'm like,
well,
"Guy,
well.
you saw the storm, right?"
Watch out for that sand, man. It gets everywhere.
And she pulls up her like map because the GPS isn't working and nothing's working. And she's like, "Well, the nearest sand dune is 20 clicks away." I'm like, "Can you map sand dunes? Don't they move?"
I mean, yeah, I guess you could. No, they shift.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an updated map.
Someone sent it to them right before they portaled through because
This is the quickest, the most recent map you're ever going to have.
because spoiler alert, they're in another world. They figure it takes them another 10 minutes to figure it out.
They are
but-
not in Kansas anymore. Giant spiders will tell you they're not in Kansas.
And the dirt, the sand around them has all been turned to glass. And the people, they find Bravo team, they've all been charred.
Yeah.
And she has a comment about like even napalm doesn't burn that hot.
So I don't
So-
think this was Diablos because we
I
don't.
think it was
Rathlos.
Yeah,
we don't
because-
see
He
Diablos.
doesn't say the Ratalos.
I do.
Rathalos. Well, some of them did. Some of them didn't.
If
Ron
I have to
Perlman said
do,
with
if
the-
I have to do Tony Jaa's voice, I will be doing as Mark Wahlberg because I'm not doing an Asian accent.
You are correct.
So anytime I bring him up, I'll be doing Marky Mark.
But they're driving along and they see a huge skeleton, and Tony Jaa is watching them from a distance, and he's like,
They're gonna get
"Hey,
fucking killed,
don't
bro.
stop there."
Look at those idiots down there. They're gonna get fucking gobbled up. Hey, bros, come up here.
So he shoots a chalk arrow at them
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to warn them, and of course they just open fire right back.
Yep.
They're like,
Very American. We got contacts.
non-white guy in some kind of garb that's not American. Shoot him.
He's shooting bows and arrows at us.
That's
But
it. Get up on the mounted gun.
At huge distances, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at least
Well,
a
and if
click.
you haven't either seen this movie or played the game, the weapons are on purpose oversized as fuck.
Well,
It
these
is
are-
very anime
The
inspired.
weapons in this, well, especially later when we get to the actual weapons, are much smaller, right?
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
because it would look ridiculous to have Ron Perlman running around with Cloud's sword
so
from Final Fantasy VII.
It is bigger than a normal movie would do, but it is smaller than the game did.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. But like this bow in the game is fucking,
ginormous.
I mean, like over a size and a half of a person.
like it reminds me of Turok. Mm-hmm. That's
Ooh, I haven't heard about Turok, the
Well,
big
Turok,
game hunter in a while.
wasn't that just like guns and stuff?
no, there was arrows.
I think there was arrows, dude.
I don't
There
know,
was
man. It's
dinosaur hunting.
I haven't played Turok since N64,
Exactly. That's when I played it.
which means I was in middle school or high school.
I think you were in middle school because I was in high school.
That game had staying power, dude.
Well, I didn't have a lot of money to upgrade my system. I was probably still playing it in high
Oh.
school too. But they start getting chased by some kind of sandworm a la
Something under
Dune.
the sand. Something.
But it bursts out, and it's a big horned monster, and it's the Diablos.
Diablos.
He's dope looking.
And I think they do use the black Diablos, which is the more dangerous of the Diablos.
He's dope.
He looks
He is
cool.
dope. I mean, he's got these big giant devil horns, almost that Triceratops like neck guard kind of thing.
What
But
did I
he's
call
got
him? A
the-
Triceratops dragon lizard?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's got the tail of like whatever the dinosaur is that just
Ankylo?
clubs shit to death.
Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're gonna see them later.
I mean, this movie wasn't great, but the monster design is really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this would have been an easy out of the gates fail the second that they show the Diablos actually like emerge from the sand. It's like, oh God. We're in for how long of this?
Yeah. Because they have texture and they look like creatures.
Sound design is good. The creature design is very good. The script is lacking as fuck.
Correct.
I actually don't love Milla Jovovich in this. Like, I love her, but I think Tony Jaa is doing more than anybody.
I haven't seen Milla Jovovich in anything I liked since Fifth Element.
She just looked checked out a little bit, a little tired
Well,
of
this is the
pretending that things are
7th
there.
This is the 7th Capcom video game movie she's made
Yeah.
at this point. She's probably got more to come. She's just tired of standing. She's been standing in a green room for the last 20 years staring up and going, "Oh!"
Yeah, it's like, I want to fucking act.
Yeah.
I want to smoke a joint in the back of
wants
an
a
El
multi-pass.
Camino. Paint one of the statues' faces like a kiss doll.
So some dude gets impaled
Yeah.
by the Diablos.
This happened so fast that I don't know who
They
was-
said later.
it was
but-
Steeler.
Yeah, and it's
Steeler,
fine.
that's
It's fine
right. It
because they're
doesn't
all
matter.
about to be gone.
Yeah,
But
they're
it's
all
just
about
like
to get
it was
wiped out.
happening so fucking quick. I was like, I don't know who just got killed. That guy just tried to save him and killed her. And
But Steeler did exactly what Jack always says is a thing to do when you're in a situation like
this is the move.
do it. Say it
He gets impaled by the Diablo's horn
from behind.
from behind, the way one should. Best position to get
Best.
impaled from. He grabs his grenade belt and just pulls the pin and drops it right
Right
on
on
this
his
monster,
face.
which does take off the horn.
Yeah.
Like the rest of this movie, the right horn is gone. So
Well, half of it, yeah.
you did something. You
Yep.
caused some damage.
He knocked off half that horn, and now he just has like 8 sharp, jagged horns where that one
We've
horn
made
used
it
to be.
worse. We've made it much, much worse.
They go running into a cave, and they're talking about how they have hardly any ammo left. And as they're having this conversation, a giant spider pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
and
Sebula
impales-
from Lord of the
Gets
Rings,
Milla.
man.
Yeah, impales Milla with its stinger. These things are called something, but I didn't get the name.
It's an N name, like
Nashila or something.
There's
definitely a
name.
CHYLL in there somewhere.
I don't know it. I never fought it.
Nasila Run?
You're probably closer than you think.
And I mean, the hard part is we see it in writing because we have the subtitles on, but Tony Jaa is the only one who says it, and he's speaking what I'm assuming is a made-up language for most of this.
I don't know, but I hope it's like a Japanese or some.
Well, because Diablos is not Japanese.
Sure, but the video games are all Japanese. Like even when
okay.
you have it on English, it's not matching up. Like it's why if you're ever going to play that game, you put it on Japanese with subtitles because the voice acting is amazing. So they could be speaking Japanese. They could be having Tony Jaa just speak his native language. You know, there's no reason to have somebody make up a language for this movie.
Yeah. This
You
is
know,
Lord
it's
of
not
the Rings.
It's not Lord of the Rings. Even Star Wars, you know, like they record different languages and play them backwards or different speeds. We don't need to do that. Just have them speaking whatever this actor can speak.
You're probably right because, I mean, the movie was $60 million and the effects are great, which means that's where most of the money went.
Yeah.
Chocolate?
Chocolate?
Paul W.S. Anderson, Milla Jovovich got the rest of it. Like,
yeah. Oh, I was jokingly like casting people, and it's like, well, that should be LL Cool J.
Yeah,
that
that
should be Jake
Dennis Quaid.
Gyllenhaal. That should be Dennis Quaid. And Derek's like, you just turned this movie into $100 million movie just by recasting it.
In the last 3 words you said.
And of course, all those people would have been dead, so that's why you don't get them. Dennis Quaid's in this movie? Oh, Dennis Quaid's out of this movie. He got spidered.
so she gets spidered. Link shoots that
I love
one.
that we just turned that into a term.
Link shoots that one, and then a bunch more spiders
And
come
then
out.
he's like trying to CPR. He's like, this is the captain. We got to get her alive. Da da da.
Yeah.
And like Marshall or whatever is like, oh, I don't, if the pulse is weak. And they're
And
like, I'm
Milla
so sorry.
Jovovich is out of this movie.
Yep, she's dead. They leave her behind.
Link does apologize. He's like, I'm sorry, Captain.
Finger twitch.
It's always the finger twitch.
He's got like a couple shots he really loves. He's like, all right, so we're going to have them fall and they're dead. But then as the camera pulls away or jibs away, I don't know what you people.
Dolly.
It's dolly.
Pan.
I want a little finger twitch.
Can't see that.
You can't see that.
But they basically all get wiped out by these spiders in glorious fashion.
And that's
the
the end of
spiders
the
look
movie,
pretty
so
cool
thank
too.
you.
Yeah, that's it. All the Americans are dead. We go home now. Bye.
Bye.
But we basically cut to, I mean, she wakes up and gets stabbed again and goes out. And then we cut to her waking up in a gross spider cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
this
she's
sack
like
is-
breaking out of this thing and like trying not to hork.
Yeah. Yeah, she's trying not to chunder.
She's just like,
Yeah, no, it looks, it's a black sack.
Cool design.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even coming out of this, it kind of zooms out of all these different web tunnels, we'll call them. And to Whitney's point, it's a nervous system or like a brain.
The neurological system, definitely.
That's awesome looking.
Yeah.
So like you have like the neurons and then the
Electrons connected to the neuron. I don't know anything about science.
but it's dope looking.
Hey guys, after this episode, I really kind of want to go out and get a beer. What are you thinking?
I mean, okay, look, the thing is, I deal with beer so much in my life. I want something else. I'm fine with beer, but I want like a stiff cocktail or a nice glass of whiskey.
You know, the music box is just down the way and you can get an awesome cocktail, or they even have like Tombstone and other great beers on tap.
The music box, where would I find that?
Oh, you mean the music box at 6951 East 22nd Street in
Yeah.
Tucson, Arizona?
Right down there at 22nd and Cole.
Yeah, they've got a great selection of whiskey, gin, tequila, mezcal, other spirits.
Ooh, sometimes they have like pudding shots and Jello shots.
You're putting me on.
And depending on the night of the week, we can get karaoke, live music. It's great.
Ooh, on happy hour it's Wednesday. It's on happy hour.
Yeah.
I'm in. You guys are selling me.
Let's go to the Music Box Lounge right
Woo!
now.
Let's go.
Sharks of the Corn, Virus Shark, Cocaine Shark, Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
Listen to your buddies from Bad Movies, Worst People talking with Steve about Shark Exorcists on his podcast Bucket of Chum in early May. Basically, up to this point, this is actually based off of something from one of the games.
Okay.
So there was a crossover event thing that they did in like 2010 between, if you can believe it, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. There was like a special thing in Metal Gear where like they get taken to another world and they end up fighting some Monster Hunter monsters.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, when I played, it was after 2010 when I started playing, and there were crossovers, but it was mostly cosmetic. Like, I remember my character wore like a full tuxedo into battle. Pretty awesome.
Oh, and I just saw another piece
There
of
is
trivia.
no armor in that unless you're Bond.
No, it is
Or
armor
John
that
Wick.
looks like a tuxedo in John Wick.
Or John Wick. Yep, you're right.
yeah.
Sorry, I have been corrected.
Yeah, good.
I did.
How dare you put James Bond over John Wick?
How dare?
How
you.
dare? John Wick never fricked anybody against their will.
There's another piece of trivia that I read that's kind of interesting. I don't know where this line was. There's more than one character, so it was probably earlier in the movie. But apparently this movie was banned after it released in China because there's a joke that was cut out of all subsequent versions where somebody says like, what are my knees? What kind of knees are these? And somebody responds Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also led to this movie being like review bombed by a bunch of people from China because it was considered racist, which it kind of is. And then actually
But it's like grade school racist.
It even went over into, I think, Monster Hunter World release. When that came out, that got a bunch of bad reviews, but they were all about the movie. They weren't about the game.
Yeah. I think World would have been out, but they had the Iceborne and another one. I don't know.
It was one of them, their games. So yeah, she wakes up in the spider cocoon. She has a flare. Like she gets a little pack and pulls
This is the
some
worst
stuff out.
med pack, by the way, because it says med pack. And what does she find?
Oxygen,
Oxygen.
flare,
2 flares.
ammo,
String of bullets.
and
That's it. That's at least that's all she uses.
That's all we see, yeah.
And it's like there's one thing in there that was useful for first aid, really, and it's oxygen.
Yeah.
And she uses that as a weapon. She uses the ammunition as first aid. It's a crazy mixed up world.
Well, she also uses the ammunition as a weapon.
Yeah, all right, fine. It's a good first aid kit.
But so she does use this flare to get through these like dark tunnels, which okay, you
Stupid
can't see,
idea.
I get it, but
I don't.
yeah, you're now glowing red, and these things can easily see that you're walking around.
Luckily,
But-
it's a good shot.
It's a
Yeah.
great shot.
Really cool, like I mean, obviously full CG shot at this point, when it's like the outside of the little tunnel she's in, and the red and all the lights coming out from the holes in the like webbing. It looks really cool, and it is funny. Is Link finds her because he's still alive, kind of.
He's been quiet this whole time.
Yeah, he sneaks up on her and then immediately goes to everything hurts.
Oh my God,
Which
I'm in so
I
much
knew
pain.
right away what was happening. I was like, well, it's hatching. You're impregnated.
Yeah, because
That didn't
yeah,
take long.
Yeah.
He pulls off his shirt and there's just globules of spider eggs bursting out of his side, and little spiders are crawling out. And he's like, "Captain, you should go."
His acting of this, because he's brushing them off like you would if it was a fly, but they're spiders.
Yeah.
Like giant flesh-eating spiders.
I would be rolling around and screaming.
I would be shooting myself with whatever I could find.
She does the best thing. She fucking lights him on fire.
Yeah.
She does the oxygen and the, you just said it, flare, and is aiming it at the spider, but killing him.
I gotta wonder, what the fuck are these spiders eating? There's not a lot of shit around here, and there are tens of thousands of spiders.
And
in
then
this.
they spend every night only trying to break into Tony Jaa's hideout.
And if one of these spiders got that many TI babies out of just one TI,
Why aren't they sending the babies into his house?
speaking of
what the
TI
hell
babies,
are they eating? Go on.
I'm listening.
I read, as with many of these terrible things based on properties, T.I. did the movie because his son loves Monster Hunter and wanted him to do it. And I read that before we watched the movie, and he's dead, and we're 20 minutes into this movie. Maybe 30? No, not even. 20 minutes. And I'm like, was your son pissed?
Your son is traumatized by watching his dad die.
Well, how old is his son?
I don't know. But still,
43.
it's like older than him.
Time cop.
But yeah,
Not a
she
doctor.
uses the oxygen spray and a flare and makes fire spiders. And I mean, it does eventually kill them, but they just keep trucking. So now I'm like, now you're just fighting fire spiders.
It's not even that killed him. It's she threw the ammunition on top of the fucking
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
spider.
It reminded me of when I was playing Skyrim.
Uh-huh.
And I was running away from some guards who were trying to kill me.
And then a dragon.
And I was in the woods, and some bears started chasing me also. Not the guards, just me. So I'm being chased by guards and bears.
Oh, my.
And then a dragon comes out of nowhere and he starts shooting fire at us. And I'm like, okay, well, at least the dragon's going to kill the bears and the guards. No. Flaming bears came running out of...
We made it much, much worse.
That's one of the points where I was like, you know what? This game's not for me.
Oh, I love that fucking game. Because of moments like that. I mean, it's the
You're like, what is
the
happening?
dragon mechanics in that game are wonky, and I love it.
Well, the guards were chasing me because I stole something.
Well, hey, you know what? Lesson to the listener.
I didn't
Don't
mean,
steal stuff.
First of all, I didn't mean to steal it. You know, it's that Fallout Skyrim. Or
You don't just habitually save every time you go somewhere?
I was in the middle
does.
of something and I turned around a corner and like I was trying to click a door lock. I think I was in a prison and I was trying to get some people out and I accidentally clicked, a piece of wood or something,
Yeah.
and I took it. The entire town wanted to kill me. And that town never
it's a
forgave me.
Sacred piece of wood, dude.
That town never forgave me. I went back hours later and I was like, "You're still mad, huh?"
Yeah.
Got it. So I just can't do that mission.
Yep.
All right. I didn't want to go back because it had been a while.
I get you.
It's fine. I was not as good at saving back then.
Yeah, now you know.
Now I'm like, well, I killed that guy. Save.
And knowing is half the battle. The other half is saving a lot.
So yeah, she tosses the bullets into it. It blasts that spider into little pieces, kind of. And she gets outside, and it's so when they went into the cave, it was daylight, and then immediately it's dark, and then as she wakes up, it's dark, and she gets out, and it's daylight.
Oh, she's not doing the waiting mechanic.
Well, we do learn either this movie's just taking time very fast, or these day cycles are very short.
Yeah, because we're in a different world. It can do whatever the fuck it wants. It doesn't
Exactly.
have to
Video
be a
game.
24-hour thing. It could be 24 minutes.
But she's sitting in the sun, and the spiders can't come out of the cave
Yeah,
to
she
attack
learns
her.
that.
So she decides to take her time and still sit there. And I'm like, you'll get up and go somewhere.
you are
else.
on a
does-
clock.
She does yell, "Damn you!" at
Yeah,
the spiders.
good. Well, she then pulls a Rambo because
Yeah,
she
she
takes
does.
that bullet and pours that gunpowder on her little broken foot and lights it ablaze.
Yeah, she's got like a cut on her ankle, and she burns it with
And
that.
this
But she's got
gaping
this
wound on her
gouging
side.
hole in the side of
she
her
couldn't
body.
reach it as well.
That's a bigger wound.
Rambo did.
Tarantino was on set and he's like, do it on her foot.
It was like
Yeah.
foot
Peel
cleavage,
that
though.
bloody
Jack
sock
is gonna
off.
watch this in
Oh,
4 years.
yeah.
Do it on the foot.
It was like foot cleavage though, because she just slides half her sock off.
What do you got against cleavage?
Just saying.
So you got nothing against foot cleavage.
But
Cleavage is cleavage,
Rambo
man.
was doing the side, and that guy, she can bend better than Rambo.
That's true. She should be able to.
Presumably.
Bunch of unstretchy white people.
But she finds all these crashed ships, and she's going through one, and Tony Jaa sneaks up on her, and they have a little mini battle, and he basically cuffs her and drags her back to his place. Because he's trying to help her, but they don't
this
speak.
part of the movie.
It is obnoxious.
This whole section is stupid because it's like we'll just kind of go through it quick because
Yeah.
they're in there, the sun goes down.
You're gonna change power dynamic every fucking 5 minutes in this scenario anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun goes down. That's when we see the spiders are always trying to get into his cave. He just kind of hangs out. I love it because she starts
always
talking.
after me, Lucky Charms.
She starts talking, and he's like, "Shh." But he's got 18 fires going.
Yeah.
Like they can still see you. They know if you're quieter, they aren't going to stop coming.
I'd give it a try though.
Yeah. I did like when he has like a water filter thing, because she did find some water at some point, and I was like, if she drinks that water, I'm not watching this.
Oh my
movie.
God.
You
yeah.
couldn't have.
It was
like,
a Cessna pool.
Well,
It was- oh, God, yeah, it was a
She
Cessna
even leaned
pool.
down toward the water and almost threw up.
Yeah. if you can't stomach past that, dude.
Which is a good bit of acting, honestly,
Uh-huh.
or a good bit of somebody paying attention to what's going on.
Or maybe it really smelled bad.
I don't know
This
if that
is
water.
where we all pee on set.
It's Paul W.S. Anderson. I don't know if that water was really
She
there.
found the pee corner.
Oh, somebody shat in the pee corner.
It's the Diablo's pee corner.
Oh.
She's like, ooh, there's water. Dragon urine.
But he has a filtration thing, and he's drinking water out of this wooden spoon, and he looks over at her, and she's just staring like a cartoon looking at like a person turning into a ham, kind of thing. And he's just like kind of like gives her a look and just like
He's gargling with this water, dude. I
Yeah,
half
he is.
expect him to spit it in the ground like,
So did I.
I have filled my thirst. I don't need any more.
No, I 100% was right there with you.
Yeah.
I want him to just be like,
Because I can, bitch.
And then day rolls around, and they go back outside for some reason, and she gets out because she had a piece of metal.
He's what is he doing? Oh, he's seeing if Diablo's still there, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know, they're walking around the spidery holes. I don't know. Maybe he was taking her somewhere, but she gets out, and they start fighting again.
When he came back in, they started. Now we got to fucking.
And this
struggle.
fight's better. That first fight was like a tussle. This is
It
like
was
a
in a
full-on
tiny
battle,
room.
and it's cool. They're both doing a good job. Tony Jaa
But
better.
we discussed a bit, like, it's probably tough for him. It would be like Michael Jordan having to play a basketball game against me where he's not allowed to destroy me. Like, he's going to have to play to my level.
Because I don't know, because there was no information. I didn't look that deep, but like Tony Jaa presumably did all of his own.
That's why you get him, in my mind.
Yeah,
Milla
you don't get a
Jovovich-
stunt double for Tony Jaa.
No.
Milla Jovovich probably had a stunt double.
Maybe, but most
I mean,
of those...
for the martial arts at least, because she's done action movies, but it doesn't mean she knows martial arts.
She's a competent action actress, but they're two different levels of
She
skill.
didn't. She didn't
different
do The
levels.
Matrix. She did Resident Evil.
Right,
Like,
but there's if in those scenes, if she did have a stunt double, they did a fantastic fucking job, because that's one of the things I look for. That's my job.
So I think this is why I gravitate towards that it was a slowed down fight, because there's a lot of cuts.
Yes.
There's a lot of weird cuts. They're not letting you linger too much.
Nope.
Maybe for that reason that there
Maybe.
is a stunt double and they don't want the Whitneys of the world to be like, man, there she is. Not there, not there.
well,
there she
and
is. Not
that
there,
was
not there.
disappointing to me because like the fights were cut up so much you don't really get to see Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
That's a trick that you see in a lot of bad or cheap action. Like if you don't have somebody that can.
Well, this is also 2020, so this is post all that Bourne stuff and everything, which people loved close up, really cut up to pieces fights for some reason.
I don't know why.
because you hadn't seen it, and when you did, you're like, oh, I kind of like that, and then ad nauseum.
Yeah. But I do like, there's a move, it's this fight or the last fight, I don't know, I don't care, where Tony Jaa, like, he's trying to
Podcast's
dodge,
over.
he's trying to dodge something, but he does like the fucking like 8 spins to like
Yeah.
jump around her and then get down on top of her. It was pretty fucking
He does
cool.
like the jump up, turn sideways, rotating the whole fucking time,
Yeah.
and then lands on his feet.
And then more than once, he does like the
It's like
little
figure
windmill to
skating.
get back up.
Yes.
Instead of how we
Oh.
would do it, which is roll to your side, breathe heavy, try and get up on one hip a little bit.
have the
Try
kid
not
pull
to
a
use your
knife out of
knees.
your pocket.
Try not to use your knees because then won't be able to walk once you stand up.
and then pray to God this railing that I grabbed is going to hold.
There is one scene that I was like, and that's how that's done, because she has him tied up behind his back, and then she goes to like break his
Oh,
family
yeah, he's
or
got
whatever.
these little idols that don't mean much except for we're trying to humanize him.
Yes.
They represent, I'm guessing, his dead wife and dead kid.
Yes, that's what-
Because she's
well,
fucking with
she
him
asks
now.
him, "Is that your family?" But he can't understand a goddamn word she's saying that isn't chocolate. So
Yeah.
he's
Exactly.
just like, "Yes, thumbs up."
So, yeah,
So
he's
he, like-
trying to fuck with her. He busts up the water.
Yep.
No, she busts up the.
No,
sorry,
he
he
busts
busted
the
up,
water.
and she's like, "Well, why'd you do that? I'm gonna beat you." And he's like, huh, "Bring it on, pussy." And then she looked at the idol. She's like, "What about that?" And you see the fire in his eyes.
Yeah.
And,
then
yeah,
he-
she throws this club at it or whatever she
a spoon
found.
or something. I don't know.
She found a stick.
But he like leans back and in one swift move rotates his arms through his legs, jumps up, and is like breaking the rope and fighting her
Crazy.
now.
It's insane. It's an
It was
awesome fucking
a
maneuver.
beautiful
And
shot.
you can see like maybe it's acting, maybe it's writing, but her face is like, "Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I should not have played with his little
like, "I'm so
chest."
sorry."
Oh, when he
He
destroys-
doesn't like me playing with his chessboard.
Okay,
No.
when he destroys the water thing, she calls him spiteful, which is
Yeah.
funny because he is.
It is. I would do the same thing.
I love it.
I'll
Um,
find more water when you're dead, bitch.
But when they're outside fighting, he falls into a spider hole, or they fall out of the cave and tumble
Yeah.
down a huge hill, and he falls into a spider hole and starts dangling, and she saves him.
Yeah.
And it's just so
now
quick
they're
where she's
friends.
like, "No, reach up," and then she cuts him loose and hands him back the knife. Like,
Well, I think
we're on the same side, idiot. It's like, no, you're the idiot.
the quick change is because she realizes he's a good fighter,
Yeah.
and she doesn't know anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's the quick changes because they wanted it to be like the story. Like, wait, we
Well,
need
yeah,
fight
but-
scenes between these two because you can't. I could watch a movie of them just fighting monsters. I don't need human on human. I'm here for the Kaijubilation.
I'm here for monsters.
I'm here for monsters. It's a monster hunter.
It's called Monster Hunter.
So now you've wasted, where are we at, like 30 minutes or so
Yeah.
of the movie of just having these two at ends when he could have easily been like, hey, bro, I got a knife for you. Take this fucking knife and let's go hunt a fucking
he was
rafting
trying to
horse."
help them in the beginning.
Yeah. She was the one that was like, don't shoot. He's shooting chalk at us.
Yeah.
He's just trying to celebrate Carnival.
But
Oh, it's February?
I don't know. There's an Indian celebration where they throw the chalk, the color chalk. And I do mean Indian, not Native American.
yes, I know what you mean.
I cannot remember the name of it. It's a big festival, colored chalks galore.
I know what you're talking about too. I've seen the pictures, but
yeah,
I don't know. The name
I
of
don't
it.
know the name.
Did
I'm
they throw
not
them
even
on
try.
people? Like here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't
Yeah.
think you throw it at anybody rudely. Like you wouldn't
It's
just
like-
do it at some old freaking grandma. But if there's some young kid with a beer or whatever they drink over there, you better chalk them up.
But they end up trading chocolate for water.
Chocolate?
Yes.
It reminds me of Stargate. You know, and he's like, James Spader has the Fifth Avenue bar, and that's how he gets the bantha-looking creature to trust him, and that's how he gets the guy that's in Mr. Deeds. That's how he gets him.
Fifth Avenue is also Hershey's, right? So Hershey's is
so.
just like, feed monsters our food, and we'll be in your movie.
It will
We'll give you some
humanize
money.
everybody. They're not a monster; they're just hungry. Reese's Pieces because Skittles turned them down, or M&Ms. M&Ms. I'm sorry.
Well, Reese's Pieces were better.
Yeah.
I agree, but at the time, nobody liked them that as much, and yeah, it was supposed to be M&M. They're like, I don't want to be your stupid movie. Dumb movie.
Steven Spielberg. Who's that?
Sounds Jewish.
That's probably the real problem.
Yeah, we don't sell to those types. What do you mean, you types? Directors.
People in hats.
We can make our own money. It's fine.
But so they end up. She gives him chocolate. He gives her water in return. He gets mad because he eats all the chocolate, and he's like, "More chocolate!" And she's like, "I don't have any more chocolate."
She's turning out her pockets.
I'm pretty sure he's about to stab her.
It looks like it. I mean, maybe some good acting by Tony Jaa, but like he's like, dude, more fucking chocolate. You're about to catch these fucking hands.
He's getting a little. What Dave Chappelle was it? Tyrone.
Yeah, is it Tyrone? Yeah.
You got any more chocolate?
Y'all got any more of that chocolate? Damn! I smoke rocks, Joe Rogan.
I eat chocks. But so they decide. Well, he decides because she's like, "Let's go over there and get our weapons. Get my weapons out of the thing." You could just see the Diablos over there, just like diving under the sand and jumping out like a fucking
he's a dolphin.
Just waiting.
Yeah, like a dolphin or a killer whale, just having fun. And he's like, and he's basically like, "No, that's fucking stupid. Like, come with me." And he starts going back into the spider cave, and she's like, "No."
I don't want to go in there. We don't have to go in there. And it's where he says his name. He's like, no. It's a good communication scene for no English. He's pointing down at the spiders and making like a sleeping motion. And she's like, oh, we're going to poison Diablos and he'll go to sleep.
He does like he pantomimes the stinger thing.
She's like, how do we do that? And he just kind of gives her the silliest fucking smile.
Cut to her standing alone singing the song that she was singing with her army guys.
And I wonder, none of us here have served, so I don't know. This might be an Army Rangers song. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
so I imagine
like
it is. Like the military is awesome. They say the pay is good.
That's my favorite one.
They pay you 100, but they take 99.
Yeah,
they say the pay is fine. They pay you 100 and they take back 99.
They say the men look good, but to me they look like
hunchbacks
hunchback
and sound like Frankenstein.
The men look fine, I guess would be the rhyme. But yeah, it's a cool song, and she's just out there, very gray, dark, bleak weather.
Well, so
The
I
sun
did
is
say
setting.
the movie looks good. The monsters look good. You said gray, dark, and bleak, and that's all I could think, because this movie, for being in a bright desert, is mostly just gray, dark, and bleak.
Yeah.
When the sun's out, it's tan and bleak, and when the sun's down, it's gray and bleak.
I think you nailed it, though. They spent too much money on these monsters, and everything else fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
Anytime these vehicles are not being shot from the inside, being tossed around, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
But the monsters do not. So.
I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
if
what I'm here
that's your
for.
decision to make, I'd rather you make, I don't know, an $80 million movie if I had my way and just punch it up a little bit.
What
on
if
the
you didn't
graphics.
have the 80 million?
The
What if you
studio
already
would
sold all of your blood and your firstborn and your wife?
Jokes on them. I sold my firstborn to Merlin. And like, just take the vehicles out, or not out, but like, don't show them as much. You're focusing too much on it, and it's bad CG. Cut away.
The studio is probably glad they didn't do that. I don't remember who the studio was, but so the movie cost $60 million, which I mentioned.
Yeah.
Worldwide, it made $44.1 million.
That is a
But this
big
is-
Chinese market you're missing out
Well,
on.
because you got banned from China.
Yeah.
Because it was only 15.1 in North America, and I'm sure he was just like, it's fine, we've got Asia.
The Chinese cinema market, like, I mean, viewers, not makers, are responsible for a lot of bad sequels because we watch them here. Do you know The Accountant is getting a sequel, the Ben Affleck
I never
movie?
saw it. I heard it was good.
It's
but
okay.
I
It's
don't-
okay. It doesn't need a sequel. And it's also been, like 10 years now? But the movie did meh here and cleaned up overseas. So now we're getting a sequel from like 8 years ago.
Is it with Ben Affleck, though?
It's with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal.
Well, he's
returning.
back with J-Lo, so he got that
good.
J-Lo money.
so he's
got
doing
that-
that's another sequel we didn't need.
It's a comeback story if they do it right. He's going to jizz on
Oh,
her
does that
back.
mean we get Gigli too?
I wish I had a soundboard right now so I could play a fucking door closing.
You get Jersey Girls again. She's all grown up now. And
Well,
shocker, she
J-Lo
looks like
wasn't
J-Lo.
in Jersey Girl. Oh,
she was.
okay.
She was the dead mom.
Was she?
I think
Oh yeah,
so.
she was.
I want to say she was.
That's right.
So J-Lo's hunting monsters.
Yeah.
That go by the
you know
name
what?
Ben
That'd be an
Affleck.
interesting Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah.
She just kicks him with her ass.
Ooh.
She does the salsa.
Dude, the fucking Diablo swings its tail at her, and she's like, watch this.
She pulls out the chocolate to give it to Tony Jaa, and she's like, "This is Jenny with the chalk." Yeah. I lost.
I'm still Jenny with the chalk. Used to have a little. Tony Jaa ate a lot.
But so yeah, she's bait. She's singing the song. The spider comes out. She waits too long to run, as people always do in these movies. So it's right on her tail. And I think it's kind of like in Dune 2 that just came out, where they're like, "Go get you a big sand, or go get you a big worm," and it comes out, and he's like, "Not that big."
Like,
I don't think this
whoa.
was the spider they wanted.
Yeah.
because
So that's
once
the spider they
have
got?
this like rope trap where like it steps through it and like it grabs its legs and whatever, but those front legs are still very clearly reaching where
Traps
she
are
is.
very important
Yeah.
in the game, by the way.
Yeah, I figured this looked like a game thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a mechanic from there.
I mean, good on him for paying attention to
certain
things,
ones
though.
you can put to sleep with like poison from animals or plants. You can trap them, and you can take them back alive
Why would you do that?
for research, dude.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Also, become a friend.
The actual
I mean, don't
game-
get me wrong. In game, I'd be like, "Cool, research."
Yeah,
but in real life,
absolutely.
they'd be like, "Research that monster," and I'd be like, "No."
It adds them to your arena, so you can spar with them all the time and shit.
Oh, okay.
But in the game, it's kind of funny. Like, it's very colonial. What is it? Manifest Destiny. Like, the game starts with our hunters and the admiral and everybody going to another world and just fucking up monsters. Like, it's not like they're defending their home from monsters. They're like, hey, we have to go to this new place where there's a perfect ecosystem, and we got to take down a bunch of shit. And you know what? We're just going to use their skins and their bones for weapons. And it's funny because I was dating a girl when I was playing it, and she's like, why are you killing this animal? That's how long ago I played it. I was dating somebody. But she's like, why are you killing that animal? I'm like, well, I need one more of their scales to make like the coat. It's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You're just slaughtering animals. You're on safari right now for a coat?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Look, when you say it that way,
I started thinking about it. I was like, damn, am I the baddie?
yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of how I felt watching this. I was like, I mean, these monsters, I mean, they do just attack you.
Sure.
But, like,
But you
they're
are
just-
on their turf.
Yeah,
you
you're
fucked
just-
around and found out.
Yeah, they're just hanging out.
Uh-huh.
Like, these people maybe should have stayed where people go, and then the monsters stay
It's
where
not like
monsters
they went
go.
looking for
I mean, he
this,
does
though.
say,
Oh,
Tony
Your
Jaa
Honor.
says Rathalos killed his family.
Yes.
Sure.
But, I mean, we don't know the
Context.
context of it. Thank you. I was halfway through the word. The context for it, because maybe his family was helping him hunt them.
Your Honor, my client, the Rathalos, is going to plead innocent. They were on his territory, and they fucked around and found out, Your Honor.
He had a very clear sign that
you
said
win.
trespassers will be eaten.
No solicitation. You know what this word means now? Solicitation.
Favor in the Rathalos.
Solicitation does not only apply to prostitutes, Your Honor.
Defending monsters.
I tried to do a southern accent.
You did
Didn't-
good.
That's
Did
good.
I? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is when we get the first weapon that I think of as a Monster Hunter weapon. Again, not playing the games ever, but
Sure.
seeing them. Because he's got the bow and arrow that's huge and goes
But
a
it
long
could be
way.
a generic bow and arrow if you don't know, which you don't know the game.
Yeah. But he comes, Tony Jaa jumps down off the top of this rock with this fucking, I don't know, 10.5-foot sword.
Uh-huh.
And
Made with, by the way, like teeth are sticking out of the back of
Yeah,
this
it's
blade.
like a jaw
It is-
blade.
Yeah, it is phantasmic.
he chops this fucking spider's face in half. And then it still tries to sting him, and he ends up cutting off its stinger. And then all the other spiders come
whole
out, and they're
thorax,
like, well,
yeah.
I guess we need to take this. Well, it's just the stinger. Like, he cuts out
Yeah.
just the stinger part. Which doesn't make sense to me, because I feel
No,
like
he
the
has
poison
whole
sac is
butt-
in the...
the whole butt sack.
Oh, well, the thorax is the big...
Oh yeah, what's the butt sack?
That's just
Abdomen.
the stinger part.
anthrax?
I don't know. The anthrax.
He cut off like the poison dick.
Yes.
Right? He
But-
castrated this fucking
Yes, he did.
thing.
Yeah, and I don't know how monster biology works. I'm not a monster biologist. I guess cryptozoologist.
I'm an army ranger, not a monster biologist, you idiot.
I guess it would be cryptozoologist, right? Because they're not real. But I feel like the poison isn't in the actual stinger. It's in the butt.
Now, he does have this long vein attached to the
Yes,
stinger because he's
100%.
wrapping it around. So
Oh,
maybe there's
that's
enough
right, that's
poison
right.
That's why he
left
takes
in
the
there.
whole butt.
Yeah.
Because he spirals it around that fucking arrow and he puts tip to tip, which is just beautiful, and one of those tips is leaking.
Yeah, and
I
you know
just wanna
what?
make it
I
as
was
weird
thinking.
as possible.
It's
I
like
was
the
thinking.
pre-cum coming out.
Yeah, this thing is pre-coming, Derek.
While he's playing with the tip, all I was thinking was like, he's not wearing. I mean, he has like fingerless gloves.
No,
Yeah.
but he's
but
not
he's just
wearing-
handling this poison. I'm like,
It has
so
to
it's
get
only
in
poison if
you.
it's
Yeah.
inside you.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
has to
alcohol.
be
Like
injected.
Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
It can only
I don't
cause.
know.
It can only cause problems if it's inside you.
I've seen some stinging eyeballs before.
Yeah, inside of you.
Yeah, but that's still kind of inside. I mean, that's
yeah.
on an organ.
Okay.
Look,
Came out of an
semen
organ.
plus
That's-
organs equals bad.
Oh, I was gonna say fun. Oh, damn it.
No, because that's how you get babies. That's the
gonna
worst
make a
STD.
comeback, though.
Wait, what? Comeback?
Yeah. The eyeball. Semen in
Oh
the eyeball.
yeah, the
Did it-
money shot.
A comeback. Did it have a heyday?
Yeah. I said that phrase is going to make
What
a
I just
comeback.
said is gonna come back.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Comeback.
Semen in the eye stings. Apparently, poison in the eye stings
Got
also.
it. I forgot about this movie already.
I don't blame you.
That's what the notes are for.
What notes?
That's what my Derek is
It's
for.
actually very little notes. This is the rest of the movie.
Well, because how do you describe fight scenes?
That's the thing.
And they fight.
Yes. So he gears. They have a gear up scene.
I do
where he
like the
straps
gear
the
up
poison to
Training
the knife
montage, too.
knife. Good God! If this is a knife, you're Andre the Giant. He straps the poison to the sword.
want some poison?
So there is one scene where he like hands her a knife and she's like, no. And she grabs the two bigger ones. He's like,
I think they're just called twin blades or twin daggers.
And that's
I cannot
definitely
remember,
a
but
Monster
oh
Hunter.
yeah,
game.
this is what all the fucking edgelords I played with. This is their thing.
Okay.
And
And I
It's
got
a-
stuck being either a bowman or a bard.
And presumably the fire and all that stuff is part of that too.
Yeah, it's like a special which is I think like when she's doing these moves, it's like you're building up your special meter. You can't just go and do an alt right away.
Okay.
Right.
Because she has a training montage, so we know she's not like Ray, right? She trained.
Yeah.
And I'll never get over it. Those fucking people. But
I will.
I won't because I like to harp on people.
Oh, I'm still gonna harp on it, but I'll get over it.
But I do like after they have like a little training thing and stuff, and they're going to leave, and she's like, "All right, let's do this," and he just looks at her like, "What?"
Well, it means that when
Because he doesn't
it's
understand
in
her.
the language. Let's just fucking go. It was good. That was another laugh, and it's because he's selling it with his like.
what?
Like, oh, did you say? Sound like you said something
I don't
important.
speak the fucking language you do. Let's go. What the fuck does she mean? Hey, chocolate. You know what I fucking want. Give me more of that chocolate, bro.
So they get out and they pull out or they draw out the Diablos by shooting like the barrels with the.
That was cool.
They have a Rube
It's kind of a
Goldberg
cool little-
machine.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have like a barrel that's being drained of sand, and once it's gone, it pulls out a pin, which launches a
Another
trebuchet that launches a
Yeah.
barrel over onto the sand. Because this thing, like I said earlier, a la Dune, is attracted to
Sound.
They need
sound
a
on
thumper.
they literally at one point he just hits the sand and it pops up so he
Mm-hmm.
can show her that. But when he hits the sand, it does the boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's special
Oh,
sand in
shit.
Dune. It's drum sand. It's
I
not
just
normal.
not only would the Diablos know that they were there because they were driving. This is way earlier when she had a full team of people, by the
Yeah.
way. She's also banging on the
Banging on-
roof
yeah.
with that song. So I mean, you're just antagonizing the sandworm. So earlier when we were watching this and Derek said they're like sandworms, I said you hate them, right? Because I thought he meant Beetlejuice.
Oh no.
Sandworms.
Those are sandworms. The ones in Dune are just called worms.
They're worms that live in the sand.
But the nomenclature gets confused in my head
Yeah.
because they're both cool versions of
I'm
worms
also
in
just
the sand.
pretty much always going to be thinking of Beetlejuice.
All right.
You know, it's not anybody's fault, but
That's
Tim
fair.
Burton's.
It's not anybody's fault but Michael Keaton.
You've said
Yeah.
it twice now, so I'm waiting for that third
Beetlejuice.
drop.
If he shows up, dude, I would say that all the time.
I'd be like, hi,
I'd roll a
Dad.
joint and be like, "Hey, you want to get high? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice,
Special guest on the podcast today.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice." Next week we join us for Candyman, Candyman, Candyman.
Oh shit.
We're not making it out of that one.
Oh, we don't have the levels for Tony Todd's voice.
When do we get Bloody Mary?
Usually in the mornings.
Can I get a Maria instead?
You can.
Thank you.
So Tony Jaa shoots the.
Oh, back to this fucking movie. Derek loved this
It
movie.
was actually not that bad.
No, but it also wasn't that
Save it.
good.
Well, but me saying not that bad is way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
I heard you say me saying, and I was like, if you fucking talk like him right now, I'm gonna punch you.
No. Me saying, not anything like that. Tony Jaa uses the poison arrow or because he put it on an arrow, right?
Yeah.
So he shoots it into
Well, it's-
The eye.
the
Yeah.
Diablo's eye, and it starts foaming
it
up
gets
immediately.
Super conjunctivitis.
Yeah, it's gross. And Milla Jovovich runs the other way and grabs. Well, she doesn't grab a machine gun. She grabs the RPG and she has what's left in this mounted gun.
Yeah.
And she starts blasting this thing because it's cornering Tony Jaa, and of course immediately runs out of ammo. And she's like, "Well, fuck me."
Huh. That sucks.
So then she shoots it with the RPG. Huge explosion.
But
doesn't really phase it.
Yeah, nothing.
And that's I read something, I think it was on the Wikipedia, about like someone was talking about how like, well, okay, there are guns in Monster Hunter, but they're all like prototype or like very basic guns, and they're not
they're
very
made
very
from
useful.
Animals.
And they're not. Oh, so like Existenz.
Yeah.
Nobody else here has seen that, right?
Jude
All
Law?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But
Sure.
David Cronenberg, it's a good movie.
Builds a
But
gun
anyway,
to shoot teeth anyway.
they're not like useful. You're using melee weapons, which is the whole point of not having guns. And then they
It's
were
actually
like, so,
really hard to do the two types of guns they have in the game.
And that's
like
the
it's
point.
you can do it, but they're really fucking difficult and clunky.
And they don't really do much.
They can if you level it up. It's a very niche build.
Okay.
I don't do much.
I don't know. I kill dragons. Go on.
But like they were saying, like these weapons in this world would pretty much take out most of these monsters.
Uh-huh.
You don't need your magic. You don't need your swords. So it's kind of like that's one of the biggest differentiations between the game and this is like these rocket launchers and stuff would take out these monsters.
And it's also kind of counter to a lot of the other kaijus we've been watching, where our weapons do nothing.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
I mean, and that's the logical way is that they would work. In this movie, though, they don't do shit.
Uh-huh.
Nothing ever does anything until they come over to our world. But there's some stuff in there too. We'll get there in about 20 minutes. Like the movie got there in an hour.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we're almost to the hour mark of the movie because this is where the Diablos dies, and that I checked it because I think we took a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Because Tony Jaa, she shoots it with the rocket launcher. It gets all befuddled. It's getting poisoned. Tony Jaa fucking appears on this thing's head.
Yeah.
Standing
out of
between
nowhere.
the horns.
Which is a game mechanic to ride it and
it
attack
looks
from the
exactly
top.
like it.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Shadows of the Colossus
No.
on the PlayStation? Or
I
PlayStation
played Shadows
2?
of Brimstone.
That's good too. It reminds me of that, except for those were bigger, and then they're like the monsters are like puzzles. So you have to
Okay.
figure out how to get up them and then how to kill them.
Oh, that's super fun.
And also, you are definitely the bad guy in that.
Yeah.
You don't know until the end. But spoiler alert for a
Well,
25-year-old
damn.
game. Or whatever the PS2 came out. Spoiler alert for that old of a game.
30 years ago.
But he gets up there and he drives the sword into its head and it bucks him off. So she has this cool little grappling hook like gauntlet that she's made.
No, they have it.
Or they already had
gave
it?
it to
Yeah.
her. He gave it to her. She was training with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She shoots the tankard and brings it to her hand.
Yeah,
It's
his only drinking cup.
Yeah, like, well, that was cool, but fuck. Now what I drink ale out of.
She's like, you don't want to drink out of this anyway. It's lead. Long story. I'll tell you. I'll give you Earth history later. But
You're not gonna know this, but you're drinking
Well,
poison.
he does knock him off and like knocks him out.
oh yeah, he gets knocked
he's-
off and then gets tail whipped.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like out.
He's like dead.
She uses the grappling hook. Yeah, another lead who's dead, but definitely not dead. But he's dead. But she uses the
wiggle
grappling
your
hook
big
and gets
finger.
up there, and she's basically just
She's
struggling.
holding on
She's
for 8
driving.
seconds.
She's driving the sword in more and more a couple different times until she gets it all the way down to the hilt, and this thing just kind of like, it has this like arch up moment, and it's like, well, that was my brainstem,
Got me right in the spinal cord. Awesome.
and it's down, and it took about an hour. Is that right for the game? About an hour to kill something that big?
I mean, no. No. Diablos is one of the later bosses. Like, you have to work your way up to it. So I was kind of surprised it was dead. It's like, I thought this was going to be the big bad.
I read that like the Rathalos is kind of like you don't even really need to grind. Like it's kind of like a medium level enemy.
Yeah.
And the Diablos is much more.
I
so
think
they kind of should have switched them, but
they
the
should've.
Rathalos looks cooler, I guess.
It flies
Yeah.
and it has fire.
Yeah.
The Diablos is I mean, in game is scary because it goes under and just pops up and fucks you up.
They have one of those in Shadows of the Colossus too.
Do they?
It swims under sand.
Yeah, that's what
It's fucked
Diablos
up.
does.
Yeah.
But so I think while watching it, I was like, oh, they made a choice. Rathalos is just a cooler, scarier
Yeah.
in game.
Okay.
You know, and also Diablos, if it came to our world, would be helpless against helicopters and shit like that. Really,
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
this guy.
No, that's true. She peels a scale off of him. which that's when Jack was like, it's cool because that's what they do in the game. You
Yeah.
harvest shit.
And
After
this
you
is when I
kill,
was
you
like, they could have
harvest.
done much better on that. 'Cause
Yeah, it didn't look great.
I mean, I think they chose black blood on a black scale with a black body for a reason.
And it's like the
You know?
slimy
Yeah.
stuff that, like, when you pull a scab off, your plasma is
Oh,
still
yeah.
liquid. I mean, it
All them platelets clinging on.
could have looked better, but it's fine.
It's a weak spot.
But it does make a great toboggan.
It really does. I was wondering, I was like, is she making like a shield or what? Nope.
I knew
She's
exactly
making-
what she was
You,
gonna do.
Of course, because you're helpful. I think about myself
So then
and
we have
getting a shield made out of dragon scales.
then we have another scene from Dune where there's a sandstorm and she sets up a tent, but she waits until the storm's in full effect.
Dude,
which
this
is-
tent is flying out of her hands in real life.
Like they show her pull the tent out and it's just flying through the air, and I'm like, you're not setting that up.
She's in a sandstorm trying to set up an IKEA. I need bolt A. Tony, do you see bolt A?
I'm pretty
Fuck.
sure it's 18 clicks that way since we're talking in click talk.
Oh, there goes the instructions.
But she sets up this tent and takes him in there, and she gives him the rest of this med kit.
Yep.
Oh, she must have got this out of the truck.
Yeah.
So she gives him this thing, like injects right into his heart,
Adrenaline?
and it's like,
Yeah.
but it looks like that because it goes into his heart, but it's like an IV.
They're replacing blood. It's probably, what do they call it? Plasma.
Platelets. Oh, yeah, there
Like
you go.
World War II, they had fucking little plasma bags that were just quick and faster than just a full blood transfusion.
The reason it made me think of Dune is because cut to morning, storm's over, and they're digging out of the sand, much like the tent.
Yes.
You know,
That sand does get everywhere.
It does.
I could see why someone would hate it.
Yeah, I can see why. I can almost see why it would drive you to the dark side.
Yeah, kill a bunch of young people.
And so they're crawling out of the sand.
Like a sand crawler. Jawas have sand crawlers.
It'll always happen.
Yeah.
But they get out of the sand, or she gets out of the sand. She digs out this tent, one scoopful of handful at a time.
It's the worst. Like, you need to get doggy paddle like style here and
Yeah.
start shoveling with buckets. She's grabbing sand, like throwing it into the wind.
And it's not even, it's not even like handfuls, like double scoop hand. It's like two hands just grabbing sand and throwing it in
I
the
think this is
air.
her husband. Like, make it look, because she's like throwing it backwards with such gusto. Nobody digs like this. Like, this is a cover girl shoot.
He's like,
Yeah.
look,
of
you're
digging.
gonna dig 3 times, and then we're cutting to you dug the hole.
No, it's her. So I'm not gonna do this all fucking day, Paul. Okay,
Dig
Paul.
the sand. No, Milla.
If I dig one
Milla,
more scoop, you're
back
not
on your
getting-
knees. Dig the sand.
You're not getting sex tonight.
All right, cut.
That's okay. I don't need sex.
That's a wrap.
I don't need sex. Dig the sand. Back on your hands and knees.
I don't know why I stay married to this guy. Resident Evil, this, maybe Ultraviolet. I don't even know if he was involved in that.
I don't either. Probably not.
Probably not. I still blame him.
I mean, he might have been. It looked like a Paul W.S. Anderson movie.
Yeah, it's his protege. Ugh.
But so she gets the tent out, and he wakes up, and he gets pissed, and like yanks the shit out of his chest, and basically like shoves her away and walks off. And she's like, "Yeah, you're welcome, I guess."
Well, because Jack and I both saw, like, there are little clips where he sees his wife and child.
Yeah.
And
there
so
was
we
a
think-
stupid thing during the storm where she's like, it's because it's during one of those flashy things, like when they teleported to the world, it's all these really weird blurry shots, and she like puts the little things next to him, and she's like, "Watch over him," and I'm like,
We don't need
where'd
that.
that come from in this movie?
We
Sorry,
don't-
go
yeah,
ahead.
we-
When that happened, I was like,
Oh, it's out
I
of pla- it's out of
rolled my
place.
eyes so hard that they fell out of the back of my head.
I see that. You don't have eyeballs now.
Yeah.
So, like,
weird.
he's been seeing his wife and kid, and so he thought he was dead. And I think you're right, because Jack said it. He's like, it's because...
No,
That was
Derek
me.
said
Oh.
it. I think that he just doesn't like women.
Yeah.
That's right.
I got fucking rescued
I'm
by
sorry.
a woman, bro. She can't even pee standing up.
We can.
Well, not out here. What are you gonna wipe with? Sand?
Yeah.
It's gonna get everywhere.
So husband said it,
You're
that...
gonna turn into a fucking pearl in there, man.
Disgusting. God.
He's my husband, people. He's off
He just dropped a
limits.
clam slam.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry,
I
continue.
can't even finish now.
Because there's a pearl in there.
It's the black pearl, bro.
He wanted to be dead and see his family again.
Yes, I think that's what happened. I think he.
And I think you're both right. My brain was just like, this dude doesn't want to be saved by anybody, let alone a woman.
Because
But doing work for the
But you're
movie.
proven wrong.
Yeah.
Because for him, he had lost his family.
Yeah.
And then he'd lost his
Other
crew.
family.
and he helped this woman. They vanquished the monster. She needs to get to the storm to go home.
He'd
which
be
is what
fine
she
if he
thinks.
died right here.
So he thinks, I've fulfilled what I need to do.
Family.
What do I want to do? Just live in the fucking desert shooting arrows at fucking random shit for the rest of my life?
I mean, his life debt is served. He's fine.
Exactly.
Also, you said family like 3 times, and you didn't go family.
I'm sorry. I failed everybody. I stepped
Including
down.
your firm.
I stepped down as head of this podcast.
All right, so I'll finish.
All right, so there's a coup.
So they
We're only watching Tom Hanks movies from now on.
So they walk to not a mirage. What's the
Mordor.
An oasis.
thing? An oasis, and it's a beautiful little.
And it's a great scene.
And Jack is like, "Oh, they're in the forest." I'm
This
like,
is directly
what?
from the game. Like, this is one of the first hunting grounds you go into in Monster Hunter World.
And then
Okay.
the ankylosaurs, the
Yeah.
somethings.
It's
they're drinking
There's
water.
an X in there.
You can't do anything with when you kill them. So I just don't care about them.
Okay.
Like they
Well,
don't
they're
drop
fine.
they
They
don't
eat
drop any
grass.
armor or anything like
Yeah,
that.
he's
so-
trying to explain to her they eat grass. Like, don't worry, we're fine.
And she
it
goes,
is funny. She's
"Can
like,
I
oh,
drink water?"
Yeah. And he's like, yes, go get the water.
Immediately.
So this little fucking face hugger jumps out of the sand and
It's
he
a
cuts it in
hammerhead
half.
face hugger.
He cuts it in half and he just points at her and he's like, you were bait, bro.
Dude, it is so, bait. And he's got this beautiful big smile. Bait. Like, it's so awesome. And then we cut to them at a camp, which I'm going to say it again from the video game.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
this is the
cooking
camp.
food.
Yeah, they
they're
get a little
resting up.
spit, and you're roasting a little. But then this happens in a lot of movies, and I always find it so funny. They're starving. They're talking about being, well, she is talking about being starving, and he just slices off 2 pieces of pork or whatever the shark is.
Ankylosaurus.
He cuts off like
That's a
2
shark.
slices, and they eat it, and they're like, no fucking way, dude. You're going to put this piece of meat on your hand like a puppet
Yep.
and do a puppet show into your mouth.
Yes, you are.
If
Yeah.
you're starving.
And I mean, and that's like, I understand, like, if you're like, this is the first food we've had and it's the middle of the day and we're still trekking and you just take a slice, you're like, I need enough to maintain
Yeah, you're sitting and resting.
because you're being smart. This is overnight.
Uh-huh.
Sleep that shit off.
Yeah.
Eat
Get you a
that,
full
eat that
belly.
whole chunk of meat on bone.
Yes.
Whatever that was.
So then he's giving her a slice and he's like, chocolate? Yeah.
Oh no, he gives her a
No, it was
flask.
first he
First
gives her
is the
that.
meat.
And he says chocolate. She's like, no, that's not chocolate. And then he gives
Well,
her the
no,
flask.
because this she's saying chocolate because now between them two, chocolate just means really good.
Food. Oh,
I like it. Chocolate. Like it's sweet, it's good. But then he ends with a flask and he's like, chocolate. And she takes a sip. She's like, oh, not chocolate. And he's just laughing, smiling like,
takes another big
chocolate.
swig and he even goes afterward. Like,
It tastes like chocolate to me.
I was whiskey.
It's like I was gonna say it's like drinking whiskey with Derek with somebody that's never drank whiskey.
Oh,
Like,
gosh.
God, that is awful. Derek's
Derek's
just
like,
gurgling it,
Chocolate?
going between his teeth. Chocolate,
Chocolate.
much like that. chocolate.
and we've returned, or now Ron Perlman returns. Right?
Yes, because now they get the Rathalos is breathing fire, which
Oh,
is making the
that's
Ankylosaurs charge the camp. And out of nowhere comes this swinging werebear, and he's got a flaming axe, and he's hitting a
He's
couple of them,
directing them away.
but then he's just directing him away.
Yeah, he's
which
mostly using the
he's
fire
not
to scare
saving their
them.
lives because what happens to them?
They run right off this cliff.
Like
Oh
lemmings,
my gosh.
like the video game Lemmings.
I mean, I don't know where that cliff goes. All these monsters in this world are pretty tough. They might be fine.
There's actually a monster down there with its mouth open.
It's Pac-Man.
It's like a Sarlacc Pac-Man.
Sarlacc Man.
It's Sarpac Pit.
Yeah.
No, he does not give a shit about these. It's not a humanitarian thing. It's like, I'm going to live. My buddy Tony's going to live.
Actually, Tony's at the cliff right now.
But I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know if he knows because he's trying to stop them because she's there and he's there. She lights up her swords with the fire.
Because she
Yeah.
sees it working.
Yeah, and she helps to. I don't know if Ron Perlman knows that Tony Jaa is gone
Oh, I don't know. Well, they came to save him.
because, well, I mean, initially because he's been spinning this whole time.
yeah.
Because he doesn't give a shit about her, right? Because immediately as it ends, she's like, "Oh, thank you." Like she's trying to say it
Expecting-
slow, like he doesn't because
Expecting
Yeah.
expecting a language barrier.
she's doing the American thing. She's like, "Thank you."
And what does he do, Whitney?
He goes, "Don't thank me yet." Bam! Face punch.
She knocks her out.
She didn't like that. So Tony Jaa is at the cliff, and a girl just pops down because she's on that like.
It's his
thing.
Yeah, the
Seeker.
Zhoop.
This is your.
It's a seeker.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's always
That's what they're called.
It's like the rule of 2 for Sith. There's always a monster hunter and there's always a seeker. One to have the power, one to supply gadgets.
All right.
That's what
she
it is.
picks him up.
She's the Q and he's the Bond.
It's 100%
All right, whatever.
right,
She picks
dude.
him up and saves him.
Yeah.
She grabs him and swoops him out of there. And Milla Jovovich wakes up as a prisoner in a cage, and all these people are talking shit about her in a language she doesn't understand. And like she must be one of those sky people, which sounds racist.
Could be.
Tusken Raiders, please.
It's the preferred nomenclature.
She breaks out of the cell.
Yep, she gets down. She breaks a lock with a
By
wooden
using,
table.
yeah, she uses a wooden bench to
Yeah.
break a
It's
metal
either
lock.
the best wooden table in the world or the worst iron lock. I don't know. Like, one or the other.
But while she's sneaking through stuff, Jack was getting excited.
This is the best
because
scene in the
she's
fucking movie.
She's in a kitchen.
Oh,
and
you
he's-
hear Buff Cat, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
the
what are they
fuck is a
called?
Buff Cat?
Palico. Because it's a
Palicos.
calico that's your pal.
Okay.
Palico.
And this one has a name. I read it in the, or not in the trivia, but on the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, they'll say it in the movie, so I didn't write it down, and they never did.
And I think maybe because you name your own, so I think everyone's got their own little...
Okay, I think this one's like supposed to be a specific one though, because
This
he's like
is-
extra ripped.
He doesn't have an eyeball.
Okay.
He's like an extra buff, super
Well,
tough one
it's not that
from
he
the
doesn't have
game.
an eyeball.
Well, it's cut
There's
out.
always these... No, there's very weird things that anime does. If you have one eye closed, it can show like battle hardened. If you have both eyes closed, it shows wisdom. If there's a nosebleed, that means that they have a boner and or came.
Okay.
There are just, I've read this whole book on anime subtleties and shit like that.
All right.
So I think this guy, he's got a scar over his eye, but I think he could open his eye. But the anime part is like, no, he's a fucking battle hardened palico.
Well, the thing I
Okay.
was reading was
But
saying,
also cooking.
well,
yeah.
Some
so
delicious fucking food.
the thing I was reading was saying that he's like one of the toughest ones or whatever, but he prefers to spend his time cooking rather
so
than
it's-
being out fighting
I feel like
monsters.
because everybody, like I said, everybody gets their own palico. I think this is Ron Perlman's.
Yeah, I mean,
That would
it
make sense.
Makes sense because it's a big fucking ripped ass palico.
Dude, in this movie and in the games, the food looks so fucking good.
Yeah, whatever he's cooking here, like chops it up, like
Chunks
this
of
big old
tuna, I'm
chunk,
guessing.
And this is what it looks like, and because he just gives it like this, like he's got them all split up into chunks, and he like sprays this oil across it, and let's just flare up, and then basically he's like, it's done.
Oh,
so
he
it must
puts,
be
like,
some good ahi.
a
like,
green garnish on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I got hungry.
So the movie starts rushing here because we're at like an hour 10, and there's like 30 minutes left. And they're like, well, we got to fit in all the rest of the story to set up
All
the
right, quick,
sequel.
before we go, let me tell you how to defeat this thing. You gotta shoot it in the mouth before shoot, let's go. We gotta get to your time.
So Ron Perlman is like, okay, there's a tower, the sky tower, which we think is from an ancient civilization and somehow connected to your world.
Also,
It's
your
powered
people
by
have been here
lava.
before. That's how I know English, but I'm not going to tell you. It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We think that their technology turned on them because of your people. I don't have time.
Yeah, so let's
Pretty
go to
much.
the tower, and we'll get you home, and we'll close this fucking portal because we don't want your people coming here and fucking up our world.
Staunch anti-immigration.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Earthlings, you probably should be.
But you know what?
You're not wrong.
In the end, he goes both ways.
Yeah, he does.
Just like me.
Different.
I mean, if you hunted monsters, maybe.
So they go to the sky tower. The Rathalos appears. Rathalos, whatever. Who cares? Mothra appears. Smaug appears. And just immediately torches two of these people because they've got a whole posse again, right? It's Ron Perlman,
These guys,
Milla
you can-
Jovovich, Tony Jaa, and crew.
Yeah, you got the redheaded guy who's from the game and his seeker, which are going to get taken out.
And by
so
red,
fast.
we mean actual red hair.
Yeah, he's a gingery Asian guy, I guess, which is a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, much
But
like
it's
the,
like red.
Yes.
Like stoplight red.
No, yeah, in this movie it's red.
I get it. I've seen it. I have it. I'll take my
You
pants
have
off.
you have orange.
I'll take my pants off. You can tell these guys are about to get dispatched somehow
Yeah,
because
you-
they're bigger. They look like almost like orcs. You know, it's like something's not right here. And as soon as you see the rat, you're wearing flame retardant stuff. You're about to get burnt up. Yeah, I see why you're so big now.
They get burnt up, and Ron Perlman pops down with his axe and just yells at the Rathalos. He's like, "Hey, ugly!" and starts swirling the fire axe and shooting fire at it. And like my big thing, and the very last shot we get a different element, but everybody in this is using fire.
Yeah, well, it's kind of
Yeah.
like your chi. You have to open different gates to get to different powers.
Yeah, I guess Tony Jaa levels up by the end of the movie
Oh,
because
yeah.
they killed a Rathalos, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. But he fires that thing, and then there's like a whole group assault. They're coming at it from all different angles, stabbing and cutting and slicing, and it's not really doing much but pissing it off, it seems like.
Yeah.
She slices some of the wing because they say it's only vulnerable when it's about to breathe fire. But even when it's not, she's able to cut it. So, I mean, it's doing something.
Yeah, because she's got her fire blades going, so she can cut through it, and she's pissing it off. And when he said it's about to breathe fire, I'm like, well, that doesn't give you much of a window. But this thing, like,
Goes.
it opens its mouth, and you see, like, a furnace in the back, and it, like,
Yeah.
sucks in smoke. And then, so you have a minute.
Did anybody else want Tony Jaa to go full Drax and, like, jump inside? And be like,
Yes.
it's easier to stab from the inside. I would have loved to have seen that.
That was amazing.
Let Tony Jaa fucking act. Like, let him off the
Let him
leash,
have
dude.
fun.
Yeah. We know what movie we're watching.
Yes.
Rathalos is chasing her and starts blowing fire, and we get a really... I mean, this is reminded me of The Big Hit almost.
Okay.
When she jumps away from the fire and like jumps off this cliff.
Yes, she
and
does.
the fire's coming out behind her. It's when Marky Mark there is jumping out of the
Into the pool. Oh,
building. And
I
the
had this planned out the whole time. There's a pool down there. There's going to be an explosion. I'm going to jump out the window. Splash. I'm in a pool.
fire can't be water, bro.
Can't be water. I play Paper, Rock, Scissors, Fire, Water, Building. These are the games I play.
I think water beats both.
But
Water
then
and fire both beat building.
No, water doesn't.
It would.
Not in my game. You're going to tell me that paper really beats rock?
It covers it.
You're so stupid.
So she jumps into a portal back home.
Jumps into a portal?
As she's falling, the portal is opening because electricity. And she
Because
ends up
stuff.
home, and then like immediately there's a helicopter there to rescue her.
Oh, it's an Osprey. I say that because
Yeah,
it's a
it's
helicopter and an airplane.
yeah, it's got the double blades.
Yeah.
The chicka.
The propellers that are normally straight up go forward and it can just travel like an airplane.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah. Ospreys are fucking awesome.
But like,
made it?
I want to know how they're
America.
there. Earth.
Earth. Welcome to Earth.
I want to know how they're there right now.
They've been tracking this storm.
Yeah,
that
we
doesn't
say
help
we've been
explain
tracking
it.
you.
But they've been searching for her. They have no way of tracking her. Maybe they're like just on the outside monitoring the storm and they see something come through. It doesn't make sense. You're right, and I didn't think about that.
Also, we don't know how
'Cause
much
they
time has
are
passed.
they are bing bang boom on her.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Popping
she
flares and-
hits the ground and thinks she sees the dragon, the Rathalos coming down on her,
Yep.
but it's the Osprey. But
Yeah.
either way, they rescue her kind of. Because immediately the Rathalos comes out of the portal and takes this fucking helicopter right out of the fucking sky.
the door, bitch. Sorry, it's Freddy in my mind.
I chased you, bitch.
And then the Rathalos proceeds to lay waste to the American industrial complex.
Oh my god, what he does to this plane.
Which
Yeah, so
one?
he bites. So
The plane.
the big radar one?
yeah.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
he
EC
de-wings
130?
it. He de-wing nice. He de-wings that motherfucker.
tears
he
the wings
does.
off that thing, rips the top half off a tank, and eats the dudes out of the inside. Like, he knows where the good stuff is. The bone marrow's on the inside.
The Ospreys are actually like kind of not fucking him up, but at least keeping him at bay with their Gatling guns. But he breathes fire on one, which makes it crash into the other one. Just bad piloting if you ask
It is
me.
bad piloting.
It was funny, though.
It was good. He even fucks up this tank that they have there. Might be an Abrams. I don't know.
Oh,
tanks
he
as
just
well.
takes the top off and then picks out like it's candy.
Yeah, like
Ooh,
I
piece
said,
of candy.
eating the marrow right
I
in the
want
middle of the
this
bone.
one. I don't want that
Tosses
one.
it up and goes.
I don't eat people from Georgia.
He's eating. He avoids the redhead. I don't like red meat.
She then uses her, like, after all this stuff is hitting, like, these rockets and these huge bullets, and it's not doing anything, then she, like, pulls out her, like, grappling hook arm and she, like, shoots it at him, and I was like, this is really sad looking. I mean,
But
she's got a plan,
she put
but
something. I don't even know what this was.
well, first she
grabbed
grapples
something.
up and, like,
Sulfuric.
slices his wing all the way from tip to taint.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
from like where it attaches to the little arm thing all the way down to the bottom. And the Rathalos has this moment of like looking at its wing
Like,
and
what
looking
the
at her
fuck
like,
did you
you
just do to me?"
fucking bitch.
I picture the Rathalos doing the Ace Ventura, like
Well, no, I think it's
Nobody
'cause now
told me
he
the
can't
Earthlies were
wing.
biters.
He can't fly now because
I mean,
it's
I
split
still
in
think he can
half.
fly.
It might fly at like more of a circle, but he'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does end up attaching this explosive that she has to stick her hand in fire.
I don't know
for
where
some
she
reason.
got
To
it
light it
from.
on fire.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's a sulfuric, like a flash bomb thingy, sulfuric
Okay.
thing. So she sees the liquid and smoke coming up to make the thing. And she's
Sure.
like, you know what? He said this is the time that they're the most
Vulnerable.
vulnerable. Shoots it down his throat. And sure enough, it
Dude.
starts exploding inside
And
of
I
him.
mean, if this wasn't a movie, you'd think this thing was dead. But you
Yeah.
know it always comes back. But because like when that hits it, yeah,
back,
it's like
bitch.
inside explosions. Like you could see fire.
I actually
inside
did
this
expect
thing.
it to stay dead and have another fucking monster that we weren't aware of come up, but
Not yet.
not yet.
But yeah,
The fucking
it
balls.
collapses. Inside he explodes. And then Tony Jaa comes up as soon as this thing gets up.
Out
and
of
she's
nowhere,
like,
Tony Jaa.
yeah, she's like, oh fuck, I just shot my load. I got nothing else. And he
I'm
appears
sleepy now.
and just starts launching these grenade arrows he's been using throughout the movie, just one after another, after another, after another, taking this thing out. And this is you think you pointed out, Whitney, the worst looking like special effects for the movie.
Yeah, this part was pretty bad.
Because he hits it in an opening on the neck and it blows up, and now there's fire coming out of the mouth and this
it's
opening, and
the
this
worst
is
fire.
Yeah, you've done good this whole movie, I
Yeah.
think. Like, well,
And
monster wise.
and it should look fine because it's CG on CG. It's not like you're making CG fire come out of a building
Yeah.
or it's
It looked
But-
terrible.
but it's not too
Jarring.
long. It's momentary. The thing collapses. And they kind of walk up to each other, and Tony Jaa, they give him subtitles for the first time in the movie, and he says to her, I thought you could use some help. And she just looks at him smiling and goes, still can't understand you, man.
Which got
I don't have any
an actual
chocolate,
giggle
bro.
from us.
Listen, I know you like chocolate.
Doesn't she say I don't have chocolate?
I'm sure she does.
And then Ron Perlman arrives, and he's like, hey. She's like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I don't want my world coming into your world either. So he just doesn't want anybody going anywhere except for where they belong.
Let's keep all the races pure here. Whoa, what's that? What's that, Ron?
No
I
world
said what I
mixing.
said. No
And
world
then
mixing.
the worst thing fucking happens.
This wicked-looking other dragon creature, I don't know what this one is.
Gore Madra or some Gore Magra, something like that. It doesn't matter.
It's got like heavy like armor on the back, whatever. It looks
Xenophobe,
cool.
xenophobe, xenomorph face. It's got a xenophobic face. Hates aliens. No, it's got a xenomorph.
Here I come.
Kind of
I'm a Gormadra.
I'm the most monstery monster that's ever monstered. Some good hunters over there.
There's a travel
Both
ban.
sides.
There's a travel ban on hunters.
No worlds mingling.
But yeah, this thing comes out, and they're like, oh, there's going to be another attack. And they all fucking get ready to fight. Tony Jaa has this wicked-looking double-sided staff
It's
with
oh my god,
lightning
this
on
It's
thing
a
it.
is
glaive.
amazing.
It looks like the things in episode 3 you told me the name of.
Oh, the electro staff.
Yeah, the electro staff. It looks like that because
It's called a glaive. It's a double-bladed glaive,
Glaive.
and in the game, you can use it to pop yourself up and do aerial moves.
And that's what he does.
And that's what he does.
and it's like all of them charging at the monster charging at them.
Fucking
cut to
credits.
credits.
Somebody turned this camera off. Like, dude, we're gonna be upset right now for a second. The balls of this movie to be like, fuck your ending, watch the sequel that I guarantee we're gonna get.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, it's like there's so much. So first of all, we got the spiders, which was somewhat of a fight. We got the Diablos, which was a fight. And we got the Rathlos. That's cool. But like now we've got these guys are all ready to fight. They're ready to go. They're trained up. They're armored up. And then we end the movie. Like the movie just started. I mean, I'm not asking for this movie to be longer than an hour.
No,
and 40
I'm asking
minutes.
you to pace it better. I'm not asking
Yeah.
for more time at all.
It didn't need to take over an hour to kill the Diablos.
I don't think I'm asking for much when I want an ending.
Yeah,
I mean, give me a stinger if you want to have the fucking little balls that you think you do, but like have this be done for now.
Yeah.
and this came out in December of 2020, and in November of 2020, Paul W.S. Anderson was talking about like how he's already writing a sequel and all this stuff, and like he thought it was going to do really well. And it's December of 2020.
Do you remember
movie
2020,
theaters
people?
have been closed for 9 months at this point.
Yeah.
This is one of the first things to come back out in theaters as like wide. I think. I mean, I'm sure there was some stuff a little bit before. Mortal Kombat did.
I remember this
earlier.
being one of the early digital that you could watch at home things.
Yeah, it went very quickly to digital, and it was like, I'm like, did you think this movie was going to be the one that brought people
The
back to
catalyst?
theaters? Like Monster Hunter with Milla Jovovich, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, is going to be the one to bring people out
Have
to
you
theaters?
seen that Monster Hunter World, dude? They're calling this the next Citizen Kane. People put it up there with Godfather. Godfather. You know the ending of Godfather when he gets surrounded by those guys with guns and they just turn off the camera? You remember that, right?
Oh my god.
You remember when James Caan gets out of the car at the toll booth, and then it just goes to black, and you have to watch the second
Best
one?
ending ever because I knew it was going to happen in the second one. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's that kind of kills it. I mean, it is a build up to a cool battle, and it's a cool looking scene, and it looks great, and it just stops.
But there's only two options. We're never going to get it, or we didn't get it right away, and it doesn't, like, this movie's out of your brain if you watched it in 2020.
Yeah, and
even if you liked it.
I guarantee you we're not getting it. I mean,
No.
we're talking...
You fucked up the Chinese
$16
market.
million failure.
Uh-huh.
So, but that's that. So we'll go around the horn, starting with wife.
So, watching the movie, I didn't hate it. I was actually pretty invested. I was like, okay, cool. You got some pretty dope graphics. And then the end happened, and I said, fuck you. So if you like being disappointed, watch it. If you like, I could honestly, I'm glad I did see it, but I don't ever want to see it again. So you take with that what you want.
My turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bored. I don't recommend it. I got no caveats for this. Like, it wasn't the worst thing we've seen, but I didn't need it.
Maybe that's my problem.
I'm not gonna think about it. Like, it's done. I watched it. Tony Jaa is a delight that was underutilized. I mean, it's not his movie. It's supposed to be her movie, and that's fine. But yeah, the ending just was the icing on the cake of go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Milla Jovovich. I am a fan of Tony Jaa. So if we would have switched those, maybe it'd be better.
It should be his movie. I mean, he's dressed in the Monster Hunter garb the entire fucking time.
Yes, he is.
We didn't need a movie to Americanize it for us, for you. Like, oh, that's my team. I'm on her side.
Yeah, and I mean, you could have it like as a background thing, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to watch it. It was 100% better than I thought it was going to be.
If you have a
But that doesn't
podcast
mean
about
anything.
shitty movies, you have a reason to watch it.
I did say, this is their world. She should be learning their language. She should be learning how to speak like
Yeah, she's trying
them.
to teach him English the whole time. He's just like, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You're not bothering to learn my language.
Yeah, I'm going to go no on that one. No.
All right, see you guys.
I mean, I guess if a second one comes out, go back and watch this one so you can see how the fight ends. Although I guarantee you if a second one comes out, it's not starting with that fight. It's starting with 40 minutes of people talking.
No, it's going to start with that monster being defeated. Like, oh, that was
we don't
a rough
even get
one.
to see the fight?
Yep.
Yeah, that's how that
Fuck
works.
Yep,
that.
it's gonna if we get it, it's gonna start like that.
It
Like,
was a
well,
dope-looking
that
monster,
was
too.
rough, and
He
then
had,
on to the next adventure.
I
He had
have-
like shields on his face.
Xenomorph.
Yeah.
I have a big question for all of Hollywood. Why does Paul W.S. Anderson keep getting so much money?
Yeah,
Because he's married to Milla Jovovich.
I've watched movies that cost $800,000 that had more of a beginning, middle, and end, a better story, and were more engaging.
yep. Not hard to get a better end.
It's really not.
But that concludes our Kaijubilation
Kaijubilation.
ceremony, which only took us 4 weeks to come up with, 5 episodes.
Yeah.
It's fine. Kaijubilation. We do have 1 week left in April, but it won't be part of Kaijubilation. It will be our obligatory because I said so.
It's gonna be
Bay.
Bay.
Because we're not doing a whole month of Michael
No.
Bay movies ever
Oh, I don't
again.
have it in me.
No.
Also, I learned last year after we did a whole month of Michael Bay movies that May is mental health awareness month, and I said, well, we did that wrong.
We did the opposite.
I damaged my psyche.
I'm aware of my really shitty mental health now.
So next week we will have Transformers: The Last Night, which has Anthony Hopkins, which is the only reason I picked it.
Yep.
Also, it's got Marky Mark.
Oh, bro, I'm back on the screen.
I'm hanging out with Anthony
I got this
Hopkins.
big Transformer sword. Transorter.
He didn't even ask to eat my liver. I was disappointed.
No fava beans, no Chianti. I didn't get none of that.
Why did Marky Mark just now say Chianti better than Anthony Hopkins said it in that movie?
I got fucking culture, you swine.
Some
You
liver
know where I'm
beans and
from?
a nice
From fucking
Chianti.
Boston. You don't think we drink Chianti in Boston? You're fucking wrong. We
It's
don't have tea
wine.
parties no more.
It's wine in a basket, man. I love it.
I do love me a basket of wine.
But that'll be our next movie.
my
So
grandma
the
calls
month of
me.
May, we each got to pick one of our mental health movies.
Yes, and then following that, we'll be going into what we are now doing as Mental Health Month, because we've long called movies that we enjoy watching, whether they're widely considered good or not, movies that make us happy.
It's your mental health,
It's
not
a mental
everybody
health
else's.
movie. And so for Mental Health Awareness Month, we'll be doing mental health movies.
Spoiler, mine's going to have Tom Hanks.
I don't
But
remember what I picked.
I'm not going to be telling you guys what those are yet, because you can find out if you subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/worstpeople, where you get bonus mental health episodes every month. Plus you get our newsletter telling you what's coming up, what we've been watching, and any other news we might have. Jack and I are launching a podcast this month where you can get it on the Patreon called Han Took Shots First. And then starting in May, it will be available to the public, but there will be ads and all that stuff. And you don't want that. Just give us $3 and listen to it without ads and early. Han Took Shots First. That's Star Wars. We have to thank Invasion for our opening and closing music. Don't forget to check out badmoviesworstpeople.com for more content. Don't forget to check out...
Almost made it through the whole episode.
Don't forget to check out badmoviesworstpeople.com for more content. You can check out HanTookShotsFirstPod.com for content relating to that. I can't talk anymore, but it's okay because the episode's over. I have been Derek.
I'm still Whitney.
I'm Jack.
Good night, and... Welcome back, listeners. Are you trying to drink into the microphone?
I don't think that's going to go the way you think it is. Scrap this whole thing.
Yes,
I quit
okay.
the podcast.
We quit. As you folks know, we like to have a beer or three while we podcast, and sometimes that leads to a not so pleasant morning after, unless we remember to hydrate, people. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and it's now available in sugar-free with a proprietary zero sugar solution that has no artificial sweeteners. I love using Liquid IV because it comes in convenient little packets you can take with you, makes me feel rejuvenated and hydrated, and best of all, it actually tastes good. Just one packet of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than just water alone, thanks to the 8 vitamins and nutrients it has, and it has 3 times the electrolytes of those other sports drinks. We love Liquid IV so much that we're offering you, our loyal listeners, a steal of a deal. Get 20% off when you grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free, or any other variant at liquidiv.com and use the code WORSTPEOPLE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code WORSTPEOPLE at liquidiv.com.